Patrick doesn't brush his teeth.
At all.
Oops.
Patrick,
The opposite.
Patrick, to start the show off real quick, I just have to ask you. In your bathroom, I noticed that there are 2 sinks. There's a sink on the left.
Oh, I know what you're gonna ask about.
Right. All I need to know is just between you and Kevin, who uses the left sink and who uses the right sink. That's all I need to know.
I don't know what sink
There's one
he uses.
disgusting and one fine.
One of them.
Well, there's one of
like
them.
it's been through
I noticed
a
this
war,
morning.
And one of them looks like it's never been touched.
So I noticed this. Wait, are you referring to like? Because I noticed this morning there's a huge blue.
Dude, beautiful watch, by the way. Can I just say?
Thank you.
Interrupting. Yeah, go ahead.
I appreciate it.
No, like
There's a huge blue clump of shaving cream.
No, there's just the left sink, like
Yeah.
the actual spout thing is like covered in just white gunk.
It's
Oh,
gack.
what the hell? That's Kevin's
What the
then,
hell? Like,
for
you've
sure.
never been in that
For
bathroom.
sure. I used the right one.
If if you didn't say that, he would have said left one.
No, on God.
Whatever's not whatever
On
the
God.
whichever one doesn't have gunk on it, that's the one he uses.
On God. Right one.
Okay.
Right is right. So I had.
What,
What's going on here? What happened?
I'm just fixing something, but we'll let your comment just now fly.
I had a right is right.
Sounds like something else.
What does it mean?
It sounds like something else.
What does it sound like? White is right. No, that's not what I
I
meant.
meant like right wing.
Also that.
Oh,
Politics.
No. So I had a.
he's wearing blue. I mean, for Americans.
That's
for Americans.
That's liberal.
For us, that's
For us, it's
conservative.
conservative.
So I got it right the first time.
Yeah, you got it right the first time.
Okay.
The
So-
Democrats are anyway.
No,
Democrats are
conservatives are blue. I'm saying
Conservative
here.
blue here. Yeah. So I had a rite of passage as a man today. So I had my graduation pictures, and I got to school dressed like this, but I didn't have my tie on. Before the picture, in T-1 minute, that's not how you use that phrase. In the matter of a minute, I tied my own tie to perfection. To perfection, bro. I don't know. I'm excited about it. It was the first time I've tied it that perfectly in such little time. Like I was a whiz. I suddenly knew everything and how to do it perfectly. You know what I'm saying? So I feel. I know it sounds silly, but I feel like more of a man. Does that make sense?
You feel like more of a man when you have a tie?
When I'm able to tie my tie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But you know, in like movie scenes, the woman always ties it for the man.
Oh yeah.
what is that? Well, I my life's not a movie. So what was?
I was just saying.
What she's saying is
That,
good
like,
for you and
sure,
stuff,
like,
but like
yeah.
you should have had a lady do it.
You should have had a lady in your
I
life.
think if a lady did it for you, you would feel just as masculine.
If not more.
Yeah.
Oh, if not, well, I mean, listen, if I have a lady,
Like if
then
you had,
we're
yeah, that's
good.
what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? But-
Alas.
Oh, I need your opinion on this, guys. Just
Patrick, you wouldn't happen to have like a clamp of some kind, would you?
what did you do, Matt?
This is quite the cold open.
What'd you do, Matt?
It's quite
Fucking
cold.
screw thing is really stuck in there.
What? What's stuck in there? Watch your language, potty
Oh
mouth.
my goodness. The way he was yelling, swearing his little heart out,
When he was driving?
driving.
Yeah.
Because
We were talking. We were talking.
Because it was,
What do you mean?
there was a guy in front of us. What was his?
We were talking about.
Cruising.
Yeah.
Fucking license plate was Am cruising. He was
He's
doing
cruising.
10 under the whole way.
He wasn't cruising.
Dude, you can't even blame him at that point. He says he's cruising.
That's what I said. I said he's like chilling. He's cruising, chilling.
If he said am speeding and he's going under, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
You know? But no, Patrick was saying, of course, or whatever he said, because like literally 10 minutes ago downstairs or 20 minutes ago, I was telling Patrick about a potential topic I had for in the future, which is just called road rage. Like, let's just talk about road rage. So Patrick was just like, out of nowhere, he was like, oh, well, not out of nowhere on the topic. He was like, oh, who do you think has the worst road rage in our friend group? And I immediately was like, Matty. I think definitely
Out of the
Matty.
4 of us, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
But I was telling Varsh, she's not guilt-free with the road rage either. I've been in the car with her,
very
and I've been like on the
gentle.
phone with her while she's in the car, and
I
she'll let out
don't
some-
yell. I
You get
speak.
elevated. Sure.
I speak.
Okay.
You get insulting
It's at a
probably, right?
regular volume, but I just say
You get,
mean
let's,
things.
let's just put it this way: you get a little problematic.
I don't.
Slurs out the wazoo.
Wow. Crazy.
Out the wazoo. Would you like to crack open the soju or White Claw while we get rolling here?
We can do the White Claw.
What do you just call
simply
that?
because the soda.
What was
That's
that?
Korean. Shut up.
Soju?
Soju.
Give me.
Just say soda.
It's not soda.
What is it?
It's Korean
Soju.
alcohol.
I want you guys.
Please,
I'm gonna
you
read
have
something
to
to you
cut
guys, and I want you guys to.
You have to cut
Nobody's
that out.
listening.
Why?
I don't want to be problematic.
Oh Jesus, that's not problematic.
Fucking take it out of the podcast, or else. Swear to God.
Oh my goodness.
Goodness.
My
Okay.
Thank
So what we're
you.
gonna leave in is her saying "take it
Yes,
out."
yes,
I swear
yes,
to
yes,
God,
yes,
but
yes,
we'll
yes.
take out the actual
Sure,
thing,
sure. I like
and
that.
we'll let people's minds wander.
Wait,
Patrick,
hold
go
on,
on.
hold on, Patrick, hold on.
Yeah,
Maddie, just bleep it. Like bleep what she said, and then be like, and then oh my god, and then it's like
You
take it
guys
out
are not
now.
letting me do the ASMR right now.
Oh, sorry.
Oh my god.
So disrespectful.
Can I just say, last week's episode, I had a beer on the show, and I tried opening a beer right in the beginning, like not in the cold open, right after the intro or at the start of the intro. I tried opening a fucking beer. I couldn't do it properly without these chuckle fucks making a lot of noise. Patrick, do go on.
I didn't even realize that. It's probably 'cause
I
you-
did. I
did
didn't
you
make
announce it?
Can't
noise.
believe
I
you just
realized.
said
I realized.
chuckle.
I didn't make noise.
Yeah, but he didn't announce it, so how would I have known?
That's my favorite White Claw
Get binked.
now because all of them taste disgusting. Sorry, Patrick, go on.
Okay, so I just want to read this blurb here, and I want to know what you guys are thinking about it. Just so the setup is, a man is texting a girl here. A man is texting a woman.
Okay.
Is this
and-
one of those
Question,
my
is
friend
it you?
situations? Yeah, I was about to say. Is it one of those my friend
Question is,
my
man,
friend
you.
has
No, no,
erectile
the man's not me.
dysfunction problems?
the
My
man's on-
friend, let's call him like,
Upon reading,
Patrick.
you guys will quickly know that it's not me when I'm reading.
Okay.
this, okay?
Sure.
It's Malcolm. Yeah,
So
go ahead.
he's inquiring about just a favor. Okay, he's trying to ask for a favor. Okay, so he starts the text off by saying "I," A-Y-E, like
That's
I,
just
Like
That's
A.
just A.
I think that's
or
A.
A.
Sure.
What are you, a pirate?
I was about to say I is
Aye.
more like a pirate thing, but
Okay,
in
Captain.
common vernacular, it would be like A.
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 I feel embarrassed.
I.
Aye, matey.
Ay.
Okay, so he says now what I realize to be A.
Yep.
So he goes, A. My sister is thinking about getting her nipples pierced. That's the first sentence.
Also, right off the bat, really weird for that guy to be talking about his sister's nipples.
You want to just pull this and the whole table just ever so slightly closer to your face?
You gotta move the table.
Yeah, you got to.
Like, Matty, would you ever-
Patrick said you have to move the table.
Yeah, but I just.
Perfect, right there.
Very good.
But
Maddie,
what
would
if
you
I
ever
start
feel-
leaning?
Then we'll tip it a little bit.
Okay.
Matty, would you ever feel comfortable commenting on like Michael's privates like that, like to somebody else, like asking for advice, like, hey, like Michael wants to get like a cock ring or
Well,
whatever.
with guys, it's different. I feel like, but also, you have to tell me where this is going.
please go ahead.
Because I assume this is a guy trying to like.
Well, hold
Hit
on,
on a girl?
hold on. Let's
Does
let
that-
it go. Let's let it go.
Okay.
Is that like a piercing? I don't want to know.
What,
So
the
he's-
one I said?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I
No,
just heard
cock
it.
rings are not piercings.
Are they just not
So
like?
it's not like an earring.
They just.
No, it's
it
not
just,
an earring. It goes around
caresses
your dick.
your.
No, but a-
your
Wow.
but a-
Johnson.
caress.
But doesn't it
Can you finish what you were
go
saying,
through
please?
something?
I can finish it.
Oh,
So,
Was it-
Mr.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah. Go
I'm
ahead.
just so it's like a clip on.
No, it's literally just like a little donut that you put around your dick.
Yeah.
I think usually cock
It's a
Oh,
rings.
ring. Like,
I
you know what I'm
see.
saying?
I
Like,
think
for your finger.
I think
Okay.
cock rings usually are. Let's talk about cock rings. I think cock rings usually are supposed to be like one of those like don't nut us fast things.
Really?
No
Like
way.
because it's so tight that it kind of like
Oh,
clamps.
that sounds horrible.
But
That sounds horrifying.
I am aware that there are ones that are like vibrating
for the other person, yeah.
cock rings, so like it vibrates you and even the lady. Maybe it's got like a little nub at the top, you know.
Now,
I'm about-
now,
I'm
here's
about
the thing.
done with
here's,
that.
here's the thing. Matthew knows a lot about cock rings.
Seems like it. He's looked into them. Go
No.
ahead, Patrick. No.
Okay, so
That would hold up in court.
we'll call him Jimmy. So Jimmy here,
Sure.
he's inquiring with this woman about his sister. She wants to get her nipples pierced.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're not photoshopped, so is she allowed to see yours? I'm for real. Just gonna hand her my phone. She won't let me. She won't let me see laughing emoji. I just offered because I'm taking her, and she's complaining about how all these models are fake. LMAO. It doesn't.
LMAO. That,
LMAO.
Honestly, the LMAO makes it so chill.
Yeah, LMAO.
Like, all of a sudden it's creepy and weird, but he dropped the LMAO to be like, we're good.
We're
yeah,
we're
he's
chill,
like,
we're
ha
chill.
ha ha.
Nothing weird
Nothing
about
weird's
this.
happening.
He goes,
So
hey,
not
my
weird.
sister wants to get a what's it called, a pedicure or a manicure or whatever. And can you send me a picture of your feet? It's like, I'm not gonna look at it. I'm just gonna give her the phone. Like, why don't you just give?
Yeah.
Why
This
don't
is
you
like
give
a
the sister
fucking I
his
think you
account?
should leave
Yeah.
bit right now.
So,
Yeah.
so he goes on. It doesn't affect me either way. So it's up to you. I don't care, all caps. I don't care. I just told her I know some females who have them, and I could try. I could try to get her a reference.
I'm sorry.
This
What
is
is
one
it
of
that you're reading?
I'm reading.
Is this what you wanted a female perspective?
No,
on?
this is not what I wanted to be.
Thank
Oh yeah, it's like,
goodness,
thank,
'cause I
thank
don't
God
wanna
Varsha's
talk
on.
about
This is one
Yeah.
of the most creative but also worst attempts at getting a titty pic I've ever heard.
Yeah, just his idea is like, can I see yours so that she can get an idea of what they look like? Hey, Google, dude. You've never heard of Google before? You can't Google some random person's like.
Yeah,
Well,
but
he
there's
said
something
that
about
everything on Google was photoshopped.
Like all
There
these
you go.
models out here, it's Photoshop.
And there's also
Come on,
something
do a
about-
little search.
There's
You can
also
find, like,
something
some-
about wanting to see a specific set. You know,
Exactly.
There's something to be said.
Set.
There's something to be
pair,
said.
if you will.
Stop talking.
There's something to be said about the uniqueness of. Why are we still on?
I don't know. Can we start?
You
this fucking
started
show?
this, first of all,
Hold on. This is
and
true.
it's weird.
Yeah. Okay. Can we start now,
All right,
please?
sorry.
So was it you?
It was me. Welcome back to episode 56 of Wildly Adequate, a show about anything, everything, and usually
Nothing.
thank you. I, as always, am 1/4 of your hosting crew, Mr. Matthew Urso. And I am joined by Mark and Patrick, like normal. We have a special guest returning to the show for her third appearance, which makes you still, you already were, but you're still now our reigning champ at being on the show the most.
You're welcome.
Varshaa. Yay! Welcome back. Hello. How are you?
Since you're not clapping for me, I'm clapping
How are
for
you?
myself.
That was natural.
I'm all right.
Very good. Please like, share, subscribe, check us out. We're everywhere. We were at 62 subscribers at the time of recording, and we went down to 61. Not sure what that's about. Fuck you, guy that left.
Could have been a girl.
Could have been a girl. Fuck you, maybe girl.
We don't need you.
Yeah, please.
Surprised
please
it
come
was
back.
me.
Wow, great.
She's goes on her phone.
It's
She's goes on her
not-
phone. It's like I want to be like right after you say that. It cuts to like a POV of her on her phone, and she like clicks subscribe again.
She like redoes it. So I believe I'm starting is
Yes,
what we
sir.
decided 5 seconds ago. So last week, obviously, you weren't here. You'll see it eventually.
Not obviously.
I had a more serious, heavy, dark, depressing topic, politically driven. About
Matty just venting about politics.
how, yeah, it was basically me
So
kind of
good.
rambling. But you know what? Like I told Patrick, I want Patrick to listen to it at some point like he does, but I didn't actually cut anything out of it.
Okay.
Because I told Patrick where I was like, I don't know, like, not like from a content perspective or like a censorship thing, but it was more like, I just don't know if it's going to be like a good listen. But then like watching it back kind of sold me on it a little more, so that I basically just left it and didn't really take anything out. So we'll see what that does for my career. Anyways, this week I figured I would do something conversational and open, but a little more lighthearted. I want to talk to all of you about your current enjoyments. Things you are currently enjoying. Now, there's a multitude. I don't know what's going on with my throat. There's a plethora of ways. There's a plethora of ways.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
There's a million ways you could take this. It could be like, a job you're currently enjoying, or a hobby, or a TV show, or a book you're reading, or like a new food you just discovered, or like,
An activity.
An activity, or like literally anything. I just kind of want to talk to you guys about things in your life that you're enjoying right now.
A hobby.
A hobby, anything that you've got going on. I would like to toss out start. Patrick's
wait,
putting
before
his
you
hand
start.
up.
What are you
Patrick's
doing
putting
there?
his hand up.
Before you start, just so we're all on the same page here.
Yeah.
You want to point the mic towards your face?
It keeps falling. Is the thing.
What do you mean?
Like it's not.
Why don't you shove it through
that?
a little
Oh,
more
okay,
then?
hold on. I think we're good here. How's that?
That's what.
Shove
that's
it
what,
through a little more.
That's what
It's all the
that's
way.
what she said.
It's all the way.
It's all the
no,
way
it's
in.
not, because the fucking button's being blocked by the thing. So spin it,
It's all the way in.
spin it,
There, there.
and then shove it through.
Spin it.
How's that?
Yeah, I'm
We
sure
good?
it's fine. It's
I'm just
purely
saying,
just
point it
because
at
if
your
you're
mouth.
saying
Just
it's
point it at your
tipping
mouth.
down, then just
Look,
put the
look.
weight on the other end.
Just point at your mouth. I don't understand what you're doing.
So
But
make it
that's-
heavier
that's
on the
point at your
back
mouth.
if it's okay.
Okay.
Go on
So-
with what you were.
That's how Patrick. That's how
I'm just
Patrick
trying
does it, ladies.
I just want to make sure. Whoa.
That's how he does it.
Whoa.
Matt,
okay.
zoom into
No
that.
comment.
Zoom into Patrick. Matt, zoom into Patrick doing that again right now. Okay, well, you did another one for me. I
Oh,
was just
sorry.
gonna-
Now he's got two
but
takes
you
to
know
play
what?
with.
I was gonna edit it and then throw it in again, but now I don't have to. I just have to zoom
Just
in.
do
You know
that
what?
one.
You just saved me some work. Thank you, Patrick.
No
Go on.
comment on the ladies' comment. So just so we're on the same page here, off the table right off the bat, chocolate milk's off the table.
Yes.
Okay, just want to
Current
make sure.
enjoyments.
Current enjoyments. Are you currently enjoying chocolate milk? I hope not.
I had chocolate milk last night.
That's so good. You don't want to
I'm
know.
so glad.
Haven't
for
I
you,
told
but
you about
She knows.
the inside joke? Chocolate
Yeah,
milk?
yeah.
Yeah, so
But
there
I
you go.
did have.
Wait a minute. You had chocolate milk last night?
Yeah, it was
You
not
weren't,
Nesquik.
you weren't
though.
you weren't involved,
It was-
buddy.
And I wasn't
President's
involved.
Damn right, it wasn't Nesquik.
It was President's Choice because we couldn't find the Nesquik.
Oh,
Wow.
President's
Dude, how good-
choice.
Have you guys ever had President's Choice? This is so random. Have you guys ever had President's Choice decadent cookies?
I have not.
Those are so
yes,
fucking good.
Yes, the decadent ones. Yes, I was just talking to Malcolm
The
about them
package,
the other day.
the package.
It's
It's like a rectangular package, right? And you've probably seen it. The logo, the label is all like chocolate chips.
Yep.
It's a completely brown chocolate
Oh.
chip, and
there's
it
a
has the cookie in the middle.
Yep.
And it's like it's like super crumbly.
Cookie in the middle.
Like so, like the wrapping, like the paper. Can you
Yeah,
search
search
it
it
up?
up real quick. Search it up real quick.
It's like
gonna do something for my
I don't-
my thing, but yes, I will.
I don't
What
like-
am I looking for?
Decadent chocolate-
PC cookies. President's Choice
or
cookies.
you can write.
Decadent. That's
There
the
we
one,
go.
dude.
Oh,
Those are so good,
Yep,
dude.
yep.
We've
Yep.
had
I don't-
these, yeah.
We've had this conversation before about like crunchy cookies, like Chips Ahoy. Like they all suck, honestly. But these taste like the best. I think.
These are the top of
For sure.
like the cheap ones,
yeah.
and they're so good with milk as well. Yes. What's
Oh
up?
my god.
Hear me
yeah.
out.
I've
Hear me
never-
out.
Milked. a
I
cookie.
am obviously not the biggest cookie person per se, other than like, Christmas cookies and shit that my mom makes. But I am in agreement with you guys that I prefer generally a softer cookie. I don't mind like a harder cookie. It's just I don't like ones where you bite into it and it just crumbles into dust.
I'm gonna make a stand here.
Please.
Okay. If you are a person who likes a crumbly, hard cookie
More than.
more than a soft cookie,
Mm.
then you are. It's the Varshaa effect.
There
Because
you go.
she started with the out of pocket thing. And
This
then
is
now
true.
it's
She
been-
said something out of pocket in the cold open.
I didn't.
But somebody
Crazy.
made an argument, and I'm not necessarily saying I agree with this argument. I'm just saying it does kind of sound like a checkmate. But they were saying there's a reason the expression is that's the way the cookie crumbles. And I'm not gonna lie, I think that's a point for crumbly cookies.
Well, you're making a case for crumbly
Yelling.
cookies right
I'm
now?
not making the case for it. I'm just saying somebody made the argument that's the way the reason the phrase is that's the way the cookie crumbles implies that cookies should crumble. And all I'm saying is that's a pretty sound argument.
I don't think
Does
it is
it
at all.
imply that cookies should crumble?
I think so.
Are you sure
I think it
about
just.
that?
I think it just
so.
implies that some cookies crumble, or traditionally maybe they crumble. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm enjoying Final Fantasy VII.
Hold on. That's how the cookie crumbles. It's not. It's the phrase isn't cookies crumble. Like we're not saying like this is how the cookie must crumble.
Okay, but if
It's
the
just
cookie
a
was
general
soft,
thing.
it can't crumble. Thereby, the
But when do
phrase
you use
doesn't
that
exist.
phrase? You use it when something goes down the way you think it should have happened. Or
Yes. So that
Yeah.
phrase is the
Oh,
cookie should
I just,
crumble.
I just proved my own point wrong.
And again, I'm not saying I'm on the side of crumbly cookies. All I'm saying is that's a pretty foolproof argument.
Have you ever had a white chocolate chip cookie?
With macadamia
Yes.
nut.
That's the Subway
good.
one. I'm not
The-
referring
the
to that
wedding-
one, but that one's
the-
pretty good.
That's
too.
pretty good.
I've
I have.
never been to Subway. I'm talking about like
Oh. You've
They
never,
were in-
ever
You've never
Eaten
eaten.
Subway?
You've never eaten fresh.
You've never eaten fresh, yeah.
I don't think so.
You've never
I don't
stepped foot in
recall.
a Subway.
You're not
They
missing
had
anything.
a Subway at Sheridan, so
Yes.
I've
Yeah.
like walked past it. I don't think I've ever gotten anything.
and
at
said,
Subway.
"I'll eat at one of the better places here instead."
home.
Varsha,
Sure.
guess how much?
respect that.
Guess how much a foot long sub is. Take a swing.
Isn't it a $5 foot long?
No, just take a guess of how much it actually is. Like a foot long sandwich by itself,
It has
If
to.
only.
like 12 inches. I'm just
$8.95.
wrong. After tax, minimum
15.
$15 to $16.
No
God
way.
dang.
Swear.
I thought it was a $5
Inflation.
foot
I swear.
long.
Inflation.
$5 foot
Is that
long.
That was when
American?
you were a child.
$5 foot long was like an ad in the States from like 10 years ago.
I haven't had TV with advertisements
Actually, I think that they
in
probably
a
had.
long time.
They probably
That's
had the
how you say
$5.
word.
Advertisements.
It
Yes, I think
got
that is-
lost in my brain.
I think that is how you say
I was
it.
like,
I think they've had that. They had that deal here, but many years ago. I think you're right. It's just a long time.
So I'm currently enjoying Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Hold on. Before we get to
Oh my god. Which is the second of 3 games that will encapsulate the entire remake of Final Fantasy VII. I'm playing it right now. It's very good. It's more open world than Final Fantasy VII Remake was. Remake was more like linear and kind of.
I hate to do this.
Please.
I honestly hate to do this.
I
But
don't think you do.
I
I
can
think
see it.
he
bubbling
relishes
in you.
in it.
I want you to know that I knew it was coming.
It's just interesting to me that the topic is enjoyment, right?
current enjoyment.
So you're picking a game that you're playing solo rather than a game you're playing with a Varsh.
her and I are playing Overcooked
Wow.
right now. Don't you wow me? We're
I
playing
didn't even
Overcooked.
think of that. Thank you, Patrick.
That's the
Overcooked?
first thing that came to my mind.
Really enjoying
now
Overcooked.
Varsha's gonna be like, he didn't say a game with me. That's what gonna
I
say.
can't believe he would do that.
Yeah.
Don't worry, she's got her own things to talk about for video game enjoyment. See, I told you you'd have something to say about this topic. Anyways, Final
Wait, it's
Fantasy-
not video game enjoyments though, right? Just general.
No,
I can
it's-
pick something.
Yes, you can pick anything you
Okay,
want.
cool.
But
This is a tough listen.
with
I really
with Rebirth, it's more open, which is good and bad because I find myself like every time you get to a new region in the map, it's like all these little side activities pop up to do, and I'm like, well, immediately I have to stop doing the main campaign to fucking
Goofy
100%.
Goblin Brain.
Yes, the Goopy Goblin
Goopy
gamer brain that
Goblin brain.
Nakey Jakey once talked about that I also possess.
Yep.
But I'm really enjoying Rebirth right now. I also just got. I was gonna bring it on the show tonight, but I didn't. As a little birthday treat for myself, I acquired a PS Vita off
Oh.
of Facebook Marketplace. And
Didn't
I
you-
bought.
Didn't you have it in your hand?
Yeah, it was in the car, and then I put it in the house.
Okay.
I got this game called Gravity Rush on it,
Dude,
which
I
I'd
love
like
Gravity
to get to
Rush.
at some point because I know that they put it on PS4 eventually, but I want to play on the Vita. And what I'm currently playing, which I'm only like maybe an hour in, is the Uncharted Golden Abyss game.
Wow, they
which
made
is
that
the
exclusive for the-
exclusive Uncharted game for Vita that I've never played before. And it's really cool because it's like the Vita was a thing I totally missed. So finally getting to it now, and like obviously Golden Abyss is like from 2011, so it's like 13 years old.
To be fair, honestly, I think most people miss the Vita.
A lot of people did,
Yeah.
which was Sony's own fault.
Yeah.
But like playing it now, I'm like, holy shit! Like this is an Uncharted game, like in my hands in this little thing, and it's like really cool. It doesn't necessarily have the same luster that I think it would have in like 2011, because now I've been spoiled by like
4. And
well, not even that, but like in terms of handheld gaming,
Oh,
it's
I
like
see.
I've been spoiled by like 2 fucking amazing Zelda games like on a handheld. So like that sort of appeal of like it's a console level thing.
Is the
on,
story
like
good?
a handheld. I'm like an hour in so far, but it's cool because it's a prequel
Oh,
to
wow.
all 4 of the games.
Shit, okay.
So it's like before even 1.
But it's not him as a kid though.
No, like it's not like in 3 you get the flashbacks of him and Sully meeting.
It's after that those kind of flashbacks, but before Drake's Fortune.
Yeah, but before Drake's Fortune. I know Sully shows up at some point in this one. But yeah, it's neat because it's like before any of the other shit. So it's almost this like,
Dude, I love those games.
it's almost like a Star Wars prequel type of thing of like just seeing like, I mean, it's still just Drake, but like knowing that it's like a little younger and like before some of the other stuff has happened. Cool. It's a lot of fun and all the relationships and stuff. But yeah, I have more enjoyments I'll get to, but please, somebody else take the wheel.
Takis.
You're enjoying Takis?
Takis. I have never put a Takis in my mouth until
Why do you say it
Nate-
like that?
Why are you saying?
Takis.
Also,
I think
singular
singular.
is a taki.
Yeah.
Just one.
That's like saying
Doesn't it say Takis
that's
on the
like,
bag?
That's
It says
like saying,
One
Takis on the
Taki.
bag.
no. That's
Yeah,
like,
but
that's-
takis is
That's like
like
bro.
Doritos.
Bro, what do you call
Fritos.
an individual when you get a pack of Smarties? You say, I'm gonna eat the Smarties. I'm gonna eat a Smartie.
Okay, counterpoint.
Smartie.
When you get a bag of Lays, you don't say
That's
I'm
a
gonna eat
brand.
this
That is a brand.
You don't-
Lay. Takis is a brand.
You also don't say I'm gonna eat this
Nuh-uh.
Lay's and singular chip. You say I'm gonna eat this chip. You know what I'm saying? You don't say I'm gonna eat this Lay's.
I'm gonna
Nobody
eat
in
one
nobody in their
Dorito.
life
You
has
could
ever
say-
said I'm gonna eat this
You
Lay.
could say I'm gonna eat these Lay's
One
chips.
Cheeto.
Or I like
One
Lay's.
Frito.
You wouldn't say I'm gonna eat Lay's.
So Takis.
Wait, I'm so
You
lost.
put one taki in your mouth.
I've
Yes.
never put a Takis in my mouth.
Jesus Christ.
I've never put a Takis in my mouth prior to a week and a half ago, and now I can't get enough of it. So there's the Fuego. Do you know the Fuego?
Sure.
You know what
There's-
that means
Fire.
in Espanol?
On español.
Fire. So there's the Fuego, was really good, but the ketchup is insane,
Interesting.
bro.
It's not spicy.
It has a little bit of spice to it. That's what makes
Do
it
all
really.
so Takis are kind of they're notorious for being spicy. Do they have non-spicy flavors? Because I don't
They
like
have
spice.
so on each of the bags there's a
Just eat a
meter.
Cheeto.
There's a
Yeah.
there's a thermometer on each of the bags, and it gauges the spice level. So fuego is full.
It's fuego, baby.
Do
It's
they know
fuego.
that temperature has nothing to do with spice?
They don't. I don't think. No. I
But
don't
it
think they
sounds
do.
cool.
So that's what I've been enjoying recently. Can we just all acknowledge that ketchup is the superior flavor to chips? Or
No.
Really?
No.
I never knew you.
We can't all acknowledge.
I've
that?
never seen you have ketchup chips at home and just eat. Like I've never seen you just around eating ketchup chips.
Have you
Have
ever,
you ever
seen
seen
me
them?
eat chips? Period.
I've never seen you
Not really.
out in public anywhere get a
neither.
bag of ketchup chips.
Have you
Now-
ever seen me
now
get a
you-
bag of chips?
now-
Period.
now-
Yes.
When and where and what? Other than sweet chili heat.
To go back to Subway,
Doritos, right?
You've been at Subway and been like, I'm gonna get the fucking oven baked Lay's or whatever.
Never, ever.
Those are so.
Never.
How good are? Dude, how good?
What the fuck is going
What if you
on?
just vomited all over the place?
What the fuck is going on?
Literally, never ever.
You like oven baked Lay's? You've had them.
Are you kidding me?
Or
You
even
know
as
what's
I've
hilarious?
seen you out
You
get
know
like
what's hilarious
regular
about that?
Lay's.
You know what's hilarious about that is I've been in the store.
I've
seen
seen
the oven
you
baked
get
Lay's,
regular
Thought
Lay's.
to myself, I'd rather kill myself than get
I've
oven-baked
seen you
Lay's.
get regular
Oh.
Lay's while we're out in public.
Okay, yes, I've gotten regular Lay's. Sure.
So what do you mean ketchup Lay's? I've never seen you bring ketchup Lay's to like a potluck at work or anything.
I've never brought chips to a potluck at work. Period.
Patrick, I just think it's kind of silly that you have. I've never seen you anywhere like Matty's saying eat ketchup chips, and now you're saying they're the best chip
You guys
ever.
rarely ever see me eat chips. Period. Is my point.
That's so true.
Sure,
dude.
it is, but you'd think that
My
I would
hands are
have.
sweaty.
You'd think that I'd have like one touchstone of like, yeah, Patrick's a ketchup chip guy.
I'm gonna throw this out here: crunchy Cheetos or puffy ones?
Oh, the
Crunchy.
crunchies,
Crunchy or puffy?
What?
crunchies for sure.
Crunchy's 100%.
I'm saying crunchies too.
Yeah. I don't think many people prefer the puffies. They have.
I thought you were gonna turn two, and then we do like a whole bit.
you should put that in slow mo and then put Careless Whisper.
Can that be the thumbnail actually?
The
Yeah,
thumbnail.
Yeah, that
No.
freeze frame. That.
is her
No
horrified.
thanks. What's happening?
Okay, enjoyments.
Mark, what are you enjoying right now?
What am I enjoying right now? I mean, this is kind of like lame, I guess, but I'm enjoying like my placement for my program.
So lame. Can we just move on to something else?
Super lame.
What is your placement?
So I'm at a high school and I'm like helping teach like grade 10 academic science lessons and stuff. So today I did a physics lesson and I hate physics and I was really scared. And I thought it went horribly, but my mentor teacher was like, "Oh, like I thought it went really well." So I guess I was in my head a little bit, but I'm enjoying like. So I've been thinking about my experience and my practicum like teaching and shit, and comparing it to like stand up comedy because I love stand up comedy, and I'm like, it's kind of like bombing a bunch of times until you get better at it. So I'm enjoying the progression of becoming more comfortable speaking and like explaining things to people.
And you're out there murdering now.
I'm killing it.
That's what Mark says. Like in comedian terms, if they do really good, it's like I murdered. So that's what Mark says. He says I go to school and I murder.
No, that's not what I said.
I'm gonna murder these kids.
Oh wow.
Jesus
I had a joke
Please.
when you said you were at a high school.
Yep.
I was gonna say, "Oh, they're letting you back in."
No, yeah. Yeah, you didn't finish, right? Yeah. So yeah, I'm liking.
Oh, I thought you meant from like a
Mark's
Okay.
not allowed
We're
from
gonna
around.
move
like
on.
100 feet.
Minors.
Of
We're gonna
yeah,
go- okay.
that's what I thought it was. That's where I
Sorry,
thought.
Thank you for
Mark.
making her spell it out.
That's where I thought we were going.
But yeah, so
Um,
I'm enjoying the progression of becoming a better teacher. I feel myself getting more confident when I'm up there. The first couple of times I felt like I really bombed and I just wasn't like. It's all in my head mostly. I know there is like feedback to be had, but like generally, I feel like I make it worse than it is, and I just like getting better at it and like feeling better at it.
Yeah, I know we've brought this up a couple times. Maybe
Yeah.
not on the show, but we brought this up a couple times. I just feel like you just gotta go abroad. I think
Really?
you gotta go to Dubai. I think you gotta go to Egypt. I think you gotta, you know what I'm saying?
My thing is, and this is like a super like not logistical. I mean, I don't know how to label it, but I feel like this sort of conversation is kind of, I guess, boring. But to me, the whole idea is like the longer you're in Canada teaching, you start to earn like seniority experience, and like your pay scale goes up, but depending on how many years you've worked here. So if I were to go abroad for a while and then come back, I would be like year one pay scale, and I'd make like very little compared to what I'd be making if I'd stayed here for a while.
Mhm.
So I feel like I just want to gain experience here, and I've also heard that globally Canadian teachers have like some of the best benefits and shit like that. So I don't know. I just feel like there's pros, and also staying closer to my family. Although they
Aren't
may
they
go,
neat?
they might. That's besides the point. But so that's one of my enjoyments. I'm gonna throw out. I've been trying to get back into video games. So, I mean, Matty was talking about video games. I started to play this game called SteamWorld Heist. So it's based on like this original game called SteamWorld Dig, which is kind of like Minecraft mixed with like a platformer. And then SteamWorld Heist is like this cool turn-based strategy game where you have like a team of like 3 robots, and then you go into this big ship, and then there's like a bunch of other like robot pirates, and you're just like shooting at each other. But it's like you have this laser, and you like point it, and you have different guns, and it's like you take turns. Like the enemy goes, then you go, and it's like it's pretty fun. So that's one thing. I mean,
I
I
can just branch off.
Please.
Something you just said
Yeah.
there. You said it's kind of like Minecraft, and that reminded me of the clip I sent recently to the chat, which is Steve is a character in Smash.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but you have to get the DLC.
We have to get the DLC. Why do we not have the DLCs?
I just never bothered getting the DLC
Because
packs.
there's like at least 5 characters. No, on the
There's
DLC?
Joker from Persona 5.
Yeah.
Steve from Minecraft. There's like one Fire Emblem or some other fucking Nintendo character. Some guy from, is it Fatal Fury? Not Fatal Frame, that's a horror thing. I forget what it is, but there's some other guy from some other fighting game series. The main guy from Tekken,
Yeah.
Oh,
the other
interesting.
fighting
That's right.
series.
That's
So there's at least those
Yeah.
5. There might be someone else in there that... Oh, fucking Banjo-Kazooie is 6 at least.
Well, this is an answer for all of us. We've all been enjoying the hell out of Smash recently.
Yes.
I mean,
That's
I don't
true.
know about you actually. Have you been
can't
enjoying
say
it?
all.
Huh?
Not me.
Oh,
That's true.
Wow.
All
Oh.
means everybody,
Yikes.
Patrick.
Varshaa, what are you enjoying right now? Speaking of video games.
Not Smash, because Patrick doesn't invite me to play Smash with you guys.
Patrick doesn't invite me to play Smash with you guys.
Yes.
You should ask your man over here. He comes to play all the time.
Patrick?
What have you been enjoying in the world of video games, Varshaa?
No, just make it anything. Why video games? Oh, because you want to
Because
play
he
her.
wants to
Constraining
talk
her.
Because for her
Hey,
specifically...
hey. She's
She's
a strong,
independent woman.
and she can speak for herself, buddy.
Dude, I love
Yeah,
clips.
buddy
Have you
boy.
guys seen, I love like when there's clips like that online of like a guy defending a girl when she doesn't need to be defended. And then all the comments are like, "You're not getting any, bro.
These fucking white
Like
knights.
she's not gonna sleep with you, dude. Like stop."
You're not getting any, bro.
Fucking white knights. No, do go on. With any other enjoyments as well.
So I've heard that recently you've gotten a PlayStation.
Yes.
Oh
so-
my god! Can I just? I just need to say this.
Oh,
out
Matt,
loud.
Patrick has something to get off his chest.
I
It's
just
not
need to say
directed
this
at
out
you. It's directed at Matty, but it has to do with you.
It's not directed at you whatsoever. But
okay, but you're looking at me.
for the past year, well, I'm going to say it to you. Okay. So for the past year and a half ish, my PlayStation 4 has been out of commission. It's been busted. Okay, doesn't work. Nada. You get what I'm saying?
Maddie.
And so I haven't been able to play with these guys for the past year and a half.
She already
Maddie.
They've
She already knows where you're going
they've just been playing without me, and here I come to learn that all this time he had an extra PS4 not being used.
It never even dawned. Actually, do you have your PS4 still?
Yeah,
And it's totally busted?
it's totally busted.
You know what's crazy?
Okay, I'm going to steal the power cord from that because I'm a power cord short.
You know,
And he's gonna scavenge.
he's gonna take everything.
I'm going to scavenge the corpse of that thing.
You know the craziest thing about the situation is, and I'm sorry to pile on, Maddie,
Oh, that's okay.
but the craziest thing is that Patrick like would routinely be like talking about how horrible and like messed up his PlayStation is, and Maddie never spoke up,
It
dude.
just-
It was a
Patrick.
regular theme.
But
It was a regular
Patrick,
theme in our
you have to
conversation.
understand.
Don't have the other, like, you all play on the PS4 together?
What do you mean?
No, I don't have a PS4. I sold mine to get a PS5. But I think Matt. I don't know. I don't
Matt
think
had an
So
extra
you
PS4
can't
and get
play
this.
with them when they
he
have...
now has a PS5.
I now
so
have a
it's fine.
PS5, so
Oh,
now
okay.
we're good. But,
But
get
before
this,
he did, you know.
Get this. Malcolm has 3 PS5s.
So why did you not bug Malcolm?
I did,
No, because
but-
Malcolm uses one. His dad has his dad's like a big into video games. He's used a dedicated one, and
And
then I don't
Daniel
know.
has his own.
His brother has his own dedicated one.
You
Yeah.
have to understand, though, Patrick, that it just
So Malcolm doesn't
literally-
have 3. Malcolm has
Well,
1.
his family
Malcolm's
has
family
It
has-
literally never once
Which is a useless
crossed
point to
my
make.
mind of like, oh, I'll just give this other one.
Do you want to know why it
Fahim.
never crossed your mind?
Why?
I was
Tell me
hoping
why.
you would tell me.
Oh no, I
Do
don't
you
know
think
why.
he was holding out until he gets a girlfriend? He's gonna give it to her.
It was purposeful.
Because he...
I mean, originally it was Michaela's PS4.
Michaela's PS4 that she got because she was like, I'm gonna play video games, and then
I
like
never played.
played once in like a month, and then Michael wanted it,
Hmm.
so she sold it to him for like $100, and then Michael never touched it, so it's just been hanging out in our basement all this time.
Do you know where he plays video games?
The
in
basement.
his
He
basement.
plays it in the basement where he sees it every goddamn day
We
of his
play
life.
together. in the basement.
Well, I can't be on your side when you were so mean to Patrick. When
Was
did you
it-
not
Matty, so
have?
Yeah. Go ahead.
What was the window? How long was the window?
The
of
window
you
was
not
like-
having a PlayStation.
Basically
Like
all
I
of
said,
last year.
a year and maybe a half. So we're talking maybe 18 months.
Sure.
I
That's what we're
can't
talking.
even defend.
Matty, can I ask you a
you?
question?
I'm sorry. Yes.
'Cause-
Well, did it? So it.
Because we've been together a year. He could have, but he didn't.
It never. So did it never pop into your mind, or did it, and you just kind of forgot, or did, like you
It
know?
literally never did. It just never once dawned on me of like, oh, we have this other PS4. I'll just let.
Does that
him
make you feel
borrow
better
it.
or worse than if he knew?
It
If
says
he
a
was like,
lot
I don't want to
about
get it
his
to him.
personality.
Here's the thing.
Mm.
The bottom line is this, Matt.
Tell me what the bottom line is.
This is the bottom line. And this isn't a joke. I'm being 100% serious.
Mhm.
So don't laugh.
Okay.
It's not even funny. I forgive you. That's the bottom line.
Wow, that's
you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow.
So
It
Varsh, what are you
doesn't
enjoying?
Sound like you could have
what are you? What are you,
brought it up.
what are you enjoying right now?
On
The PS4.
the PS4 that Matthew gave me.
Oh my god, there's no way.
I'm loving it. Loving
Dig
it.
it in.
No, I was just because I didn't go out of my way and buy it myself.
Dude, what'd you do? She went, I'm loving it. Like,
So
she, like, rubbed
on the
it in.
PS4 that Matthew gave me that had been sitting idle in his basement for years. Which also begs the question, why didn't he give it to me sooner?
It
Or-
also does back that question.
Yeah, because it could have been to me. It could have been to because I don't even know. This was unprompted from me. It was just.
No, not
It was
entirely.
unprompted.
No,
I didn't
because-
ask. I didn't know you had an extra.
No, because
PS4.
Varsh.
And he was like, "Hey, I got a surprise for you."
Varsh
And then he just.
mentioned that she liked that her and I were playing a bunch of different games together, and that she kind of, was into some wanted to get more into games herself personally. Whatever.
Can I just say that?
And she mentioned how
Sorry. I just
What?
want to say that's goals going.
goals. That's us. Let's go. She mentioned how she has a 3DS, but I guess one of the two screens is busted and doesn't work. And I told her forever ago that we could probably just take it to some shop or whatever and have them maybe look at it. And I said, the worst case scenario, we could probably even just buy you a new one. And then she's like, oh, but I don't want to get a new one, blah blah blah. I'd rather just get this one fixed, yada yada yada. But as soon as she said that of I want to play more games and I would play on my 3DS for example, but I can't. That is what put the thought in my head of oh, this PS4 is right here, and because you were talking about wanting to play Spider-Man.
Because I always had to wait until I was at your house.
Yes, because she had
For
said
a
that
window
too. Yes, that's what it was.
to
You had
play
said that if I
anything.
want to play Spider-Man, I'm only gonna ever be able to play it
And then you just have to
at your
sit there
house.
watching. You can't even
Which I don't
do
mind,
it
but
with me.
yeah. So then that put the thought in my head of wait a minute, I'll just let her take the PS4 and then play as much fucking Spider-Man and stuff as you want. And
And I played a Spider-Man.
you've been playing
You finished it?
Spider-Man.
No.
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
No, I only started it 2 days ago.
You beat Q.
I beat.
You
Hugh.
haven't finished Haven. Are you
I'm,
gonna go back
halfway
to
through.
Haven?
Yeah,
Or is
Spider-Man 1
taking
or
all your
2?
time? One.
Okay.
The OG
the OG.
Spider-Man.
I'm 28% done.
There you go, dude.
That's
I
what
do-
it said this afternoon.
I do want to gas Varshaa up here for a second here.
Please.
At Matthew's expense.
Okay.
Sorry about this, Matthew, but
As you should
I think
continue.
you, and I don't think Mark agrees with me on this. I think you are
A good person.
a bit better.
And Mark,
you,
and
Mark.
I know you don't agree with this.
I think you're a bit better than Matthew at Fall Guys. I genuinely.
I think
I
so too.
genuinely-
I actually,
I genuinely think this, Matthew.
and I've only played it for an hour total.
And that says something.
You know
about
what's
you,
really
Matthew.
great though, Patrick, is that when you said that to her and she paused for a second, I could see the look in her eyes of do I lie about this or do I double down
What
on
do you
the
mean?
bit?
Do I lie? It's not something for her to
Why
lie
would I
about.
lie?
Yeah, and she chose double down.
What do you mean?
Because I'm telling the truth. Because you lost. I've only played Fall Guys with Matthew one time.
Well, you play with us too.
Yeah, that was
Oh, that was
all.
one time.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
wow,
the one
okay.
time.
Remember when we
Yeah.
were playing that volleyball finale?
Oh
Pat-
no, no, no!
Patrick,
Please don't expose
Patrick
me. Please
called
don't
me.
expose me.
Or no, I don't know if he called me. I think it was
We
in
were in the
person.
car.
He said, I have something to admit to you. I thought he was about to say something crazy about how he betrayed me or some shit. And he goes, he's like, it was me who fucked up the volleyball game. He was
I was
like,
gonna
we were the
say
reason we lost.
that
Like, I
it was
missed-
me because I didn't touch that ball once. I didn't
I
understand
think we're all
how
a
the
bit
game
lacking that
worked.
day. I missed it many times as well. It's hard
It's
to gauge
the
it
first
when it's
time I
falling.
saw that
It's so hard
level.
to
I didn't
gauge
know
it.
where it was going.
There were so many times it was like it would fall, I'd dive at it, and I'd go right through it, like right under it.
Listen, I just felt like a scumbag because in the moment you blamed Malcolm.
I did.
You did. In the moment you blamed and I stayed silent.
Dude, I just
Wow.
I decided
You let Malcolm take the
let
fall.
Malcolm take the heat.
Dude, I just love blaming Malcolm.
And so I actually
Malcolm
It-
had
why
nothing to
does
say
it-
for himself. He was like, okay.
he had
feels
nothing
so.
to
It feels so good to blame Malcolm.
say. A little bit, right? Doesn't it?
Speaking of Malcolm, where is he? Did we ever get an answer?
Oh
on
yeah,
that?
we never said he's not here.
Yeah, he's not here tonight. But
shoot.
did we ever get a reason why?
Yeah, we did. He's working early. He's working with his dad
At 5 a.m.
Oh,
He's
you know
gotta go
what?
sleep.
The other day, I can't use my phone. He called me the other day, like a day or two ago, and I texted him like not long after I saw that he had called me because you had called me too. I think it was the day, it was Monday or whatever, Tuesday when you wanted to go to Thai House, and I texted Malcolm back, and I assumed that's what he was asking about too. So I texted back. I was like, "Hey, like, saw you called. What's up?" kind of thing. And he got back to me like 24 hours later, and he texted me. He's like, "Oh, sorry, I was just gonna like ask you something." Hashtag 24 hours later. I was like,
He said hashtag.
yeah,
24
no, like he put it.
hours.
Hold on, I gotta find this.
You can open up your iMessage on laptop.
I'm going to.
There's just copious amounts of.
And after okay, I'll save this for after you pull this up.
I don't know if this is actually like totally,
Malcolm, can't you?
but you would think he'd be. Hold on.
He has a You don't have him as a contact? Question mark.
I do. It's just it doesn't show up. Like
Do you not have? Oh, it's
my
not on his
computer
laptop.
iMessages and my phone messages, I don't think are like
They're not
totally
synced.
one in one, so it doesn't carry over everything. But just he basically just texted me like don't like it was nothing that I was calling about. Hashtag 24 hours later.
I've never seen him do
like
something
or
like
I
that.
got back to you 24 hours later or some
He
shit.
does
I've
weird
never seen a
Stuff like that
man use a
sometimes.
hashtag.
He.
Truly, like when has a man ever used a hashtag?
I don't know.
I don't.
Every one of our Instagram posts.
I
That
don't-
Patrick
I mean,
uses hashtag.
No,
I mean,
not
I do for our Instagram
professionally,
posts.
yeah, sure, but like
Personally,
Aw, I like that.
What?
professionally.
I don't think it was a compliment. It was just a.
I mean, it was a nice way to phrase it.
So you've
Sure.
become a gamer girl. Is there
You're
anything
drunk.
else?
Wait, sorry, before we leave Malcolm,
This,
sorry.
this topic is like. It's a mess.
It
Before we
is.
leave Malcolm,
I love
sorry,
it.
I'm trying to hand the mic off to you.
Oh.
Malcolm got under Mark's skin this week.
Uh-oh.
Dude, I got so
You
pissed.
can't- I know you
Why
got
are
so
you
pissed.
talking about this man when he's not here?
No,
he
no,
can't
no,
even
no.
defend
He's
This
himself.
actually connects to my topic here, but can I go?
You
you wanna
can go.
save it
Take the
then?
floor. Take the
Yeah,
floor.
do you wanna
First of all, he
segue?
knows. He
Yeah,
knows.
I'll save
It's
it.
like a
I'll save it because
segue
it's not
for
really
yours.
related to what you guys are talking. It's opposite of enjoyment.
Okay, we'll save it for a
It's opposite of
segue then.
enjoyment, yeah.
So you've become a gamer girl. What else? Is there anything else you're enjoying right now?
Wait, I have to. I'm not done.
Oh, please.
My dad said because he came upstairs to see me playing the video game, which if I wasn't playing the video game, I would probably just be watching Netflix. But he came upstairs and he was like, "This is how you get addicted to these things. You have to turn it
dude,
off."
That sounds like my dad.
And I was like, "But I just turned it on." He's like, "Every time I see you, you're playing the video games."
Yeah, I'm getting PTSD
And I'm like-
right now.
First of all, I've only had this PlayStation for a week. You've only seen me play it twice, and it just happened to be that I just turned it on, and you entered the room.
Can I have a theory that like
I didn't even do anything.
I have a theory that like parents, a lot of parents, I don't know if it's like an immigrant parent thing because I've experienced it, or if it's just like parents in general, they view video games in like a more harsh light than they do any other medium. Like my parents like are big into movies and shows. They'll spend hours on their day off just like chilling and watching a movie. I think it's cool. I love movies.
Yeah.
But then they'll be like, "Oh, why are you wasting your time playing video games?"
That's
And I'm
what-
like, "Yeah, but you're watching a movie. I'm just experiencing a movie, but I'm getting to control it. It's cool. Like it's very strange."
That's exactly what I said because I was like, "What if I was just sitting here watching my
Yeah.
third Netflix movie
I
of
think
the
it's a
day?"
stigma against video games that it's like
Yeah.
losers who are addicted to
It's
whatever.
completely.
Yeah, he's like, "You're addicted. You're fighting people," and I'm like,
You're getting more aggressive.
You're saving New York, dude.
"That's what I said." I said it's because he didn't. He was like, "What is this?" Because you know how there's like the cutscenes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, "Are you doing this? You're doing the dial?" And I was like, "No."
What is this witchcraft?
Yeah, I'm just like, because he sat down next to me because he was waiting for me to change it, and I was like, "No, there's things happening right now, right? I can't. I'm not leaving in the middle of this." And then he was just like, "Wow, you're addicted." But then he was sitting there, and he's like, "Oh, so you're doing this?" And I was like, "No." And then he's like, "Okay, cool." And then when it like cut back to me, and I was like, "La di da," I was like swinging around. He's like, "Are you doing this? Is it you?" I was like, do you want to swing around for a little bit? And he's just
It's
like,
so fun.
no. He's just like, no, just turn it off. And I was like, okay.
I think if he tried it
I
and like
think he
sat
would
down
love
and was
it.
able to control it, he'd
He would
be
have
like, "This is
so
great.
much
I'd rather do
fun.
this than
What are
watch
the odds
movies."
that he's terrified of him getting addicted himself?
Maybe.
I think that's what it is.
Maybe
Did
he's
your
like,
dad
this-
have
He
like a
is
thing in like
addicted.
the 80s where he was like, you know, Miss Pac-Man consumed his life or something and he'll never go
Really?
back?
I wasn't alive then, so I couldn't tell you.
Fair enough.
Maybe
Thank you.
maybe he's afraid of how cool it is to him, and he's like he doesn't want to get hooked.
Yeah.
In his mind, he's like,
Damn, it's cool.
Because
It's cool.
afterwards, he came later and he was just like, oh, are you playing as Miles yet? And I was like,
Wow.
wow, he's got
What?
the story beats going too now.
yeah, because I was like, oh, look, there's Miles Morales. And he was just like, oh, cool, the one from the movie. And I was like, yeah. And so then later, he was like, are you playing as Miles yet? Is this Miles Spider-Man? And I'm like,
He was-
but you just told me to turn it off. But now you're invested. So you're going to sit next to me, but you're still going to tell me to turn.
He's
I
like-
don't
he's like-
understand. I
he's like,
think
ha-
it's in his head.
He's like, have you helped Aunt May help with the feast yet?
yeah.
with feast?
Duffy.
The feast.
So that's what I'm enjoying.
Okay, I was going to segue into more Spider-Man if you don't mind.
Okay.
As you
Oh,
all
the
know,
good suit.
yes, the white spider. I literally asked Varshaa yesterday. I was like, okay,
Awesome.
this was a controversy at the time. I was like, the white spider on the blue and red. What do you think?
Love it.
And she's
I
like,
think
oh
it's
yeah,
cool.
it's good. I think it's. I was telling her, it's like to
Beautiful.
me, it's
Wait, can I show them my picture?
please. It's the perfect example of like altering the classic suit and making it your own look, but not like butchering it.
You know, I think it works. I think it works because the eyes are white.
Yes.
And it matches, and then there's like little cool white accents on
yes,
the feet
there's
as well.
little accents on the hands and feet and shit.
It's
like,
awesome.
It just
I
it
prefer-
all works.
I dare to say I prefer it over any other Spider-Man
But see,
suit.
to me, the thing too is that the White Spider has become so iconically Insomniac Spider-Man, where it's like now he's been in like a couple comic crossovers, or like he has the 5-second cameo in Across the Spider-Verse, and it's like even if it's from like
He
far
does?
out in Across the Spider-Verse,
Yeah.
yeah, when they're like
Oh,
in
he's in the little
2099.
tube thing.
Yeah.
Well, he's like kind of he's like standing between the tubes because at one point they reference something and it just cuts to him and he's like, "You guys talking to me?" And it's fucking Yuri Lowenthal doing the voice too, and then they're like, you know, they just brush him off or whatever. But yeah, it's like even in like you know in the comics when they do some big like Spider-Verse event where it's like all the different Spider people, you'll see like a page that's like all these different Spider people, but you'll see in the back a Spider-Man with the white spider, and right
You
away
know.
it's like it's like that Spider-Man, so it's like instantly iconic. Is it? Oh yes, this was your drawing.
This is what I was
Look
saying.
And the case.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Thank-
speaking of Spider-Man.
Thank you. I also have him in my keys, but this is what the
That's
other
cool.
suit looks like to me.
Which suit?
Wait,
The,
Matty,
like
The-
classic
the-
one?
No, like the original, like the MCU one, and how it's just like, like the
Oh
the back spider.
yes.
And I'm like, this does not look like a
Dude, can
spider
I
at
say-
all. This is just a shape.
I think that would be like it's like a cream colored background. How dope would like a cream suit with red? I feel like that would
like
look really
cream and
cool.
maroon.
Yeah.
For Spider-Man?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Just like
I don't know.
cream,
Alternate
cream
colors.
base with like the red accents and stuff. That'd be cool. I feel like cream is like a great color that goes with so much shit, like
It's a
blue and
It's a little underrated, I would say.
it is a little. Yeah,
You
I
guys
think
love
so.
your neutrals.
They do.
Yeah.
This is
Like Matty's shirt.
Cream.
We got him that
Japanese
shirt.
pink Yes, you did. Speaking of Spider-Man, so as you all know on this show, big comic dork I am.
Okay, Yoda.
And
Comic dork I am.
in the early
not gonna-
2000s, so there's going to be a lot of nerdy context on this, so stick with me and then we can get out of this topic because it's
Okay.
been a hot minute. In early 2000s, Marvel wanted to do like a sort of soft reboot of stuff with their comics, but they didn't want to do what DC eventually did with the New 52, where they were just like, hey, fuck all the continuity that's been going on since like the 30s, like we're starting over from scratch kind of thing. Marvel wanted to do that without actually doing that. So thus, the Ultimate Universe was born, which was not the main 616 Marvel universe. It was a different universe where, you know, it was the X-Men, Fantastic Four, Avengers, Spider-Man, all that shit, but it was like slightly different takes on everybody. And you had Brian Michael Bendis, who created Miles Morales, because Miles Morales comes from the Ultimate Universe, doing Ultimate Spider-Man for like, you know, a decade, however long they were doing that book. And I'm reading it now. It's like 160 something issues. I'm on like, you know, I'm in the 120s or 130s. It's fantastic. Eventually, Marvel decided they were done with the Ultimate stuff. They destroyed that universe. And there were only two characters that they kept that made their way over to the main universe. Miles Morales, of course. And in the Ultimate Universe, they did this thing with Reed Richards.
Fantastic Four.
Yes. Where eventually he became a bad guy in the Ultimate Universe, and he became known as the Maker. And he became this like really smart, powerful, like, you know, interdimensional fucking bad guy. So what they did last year with the Marvel Comics is they basically had the Maker show up, and they've brought back the Ultimate Universe. Not the same one from like the early 2000s, but they've brought back the idea of like now we're doing Ultimate Comics again. So we're getting Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Black Panther, and Ultimate X-Men. Those are the 3 books that are coming out now. Why do you look so petrified, Patrick? You look like you've seen a ghost.
First of all, where are you going with this? Second of all,
Ghost.
what?
So I am currently
How does
enjoying
this? Oh, this
Ultimate Spider-Man. And here's the thing.
Bump this, bro.
Why?
Ultimate Spider-Man.
No, not the fucking show. The new comic.
Oh, you know what
I want
show?
to kill myself, bro. Are you
what's
kidding me?
The Spectacular Spider-Man.
She's finally been watching Spectacular Spider-Man. Isn't it fucking just so good?
Fun.
So good. So Ultimate Spider-Man, I'll pull it up here on the screen for people to see. This was the first of the new Ultimate line of books that they started with. I am not somebody who reads comics like month to month when the individual issues come out.
You can't read.
Because I can't read.
You don't read no good.
I always like waiting for like, when 6 issues come out and they put it out in like a trade and I just get that. I have been reading this month to month because it's that fucking good and because I just need to know what's happening. There's a lot of like in-universe shit that doesn't matter and that you guys don't care about. The setup of this is that Peter is in like his 30s. So he's like a grown-ass dude, as you can see with his sexy hair and beard here. Him and Mary Jane are married and they have 2 kids.
Spoiler alert.
He is not Spider-Man.
Oh.
So it's just him and MJ living in New York. Peter still works at the Bugle. There's the 2 kids, Richard and I believe May.
I don't like that they're
MJ.
Gingers.
Ginger's like their mom. MJ here, of course.
Beautiful.
And we get to the Daily Bugle. J. Jonah Jameson freaking out, yelling for Parker. Sees Peter. Oh, hey, Peter. Peter says hi, whatever. And he goes, no time for chit chat. Walks right past Peter. Parker, and who does he find? Uncle fucking Ben, who is alive and well, working at the Daily Bugle with Peter and J. Jonah Jameson. Because as it turns out in this universe, Aunt May is no longer with us. Uncle Ben, alive and kicking. So we get a lot of like really cool different twists on things. And basically the way the first issue ends, of course, Kingpin's around doing his thing. But the way the first issue basically ends is, again, this is more like
Iron Man?
Ultimate Universe stuff that doesn't really matter. But basically, long story short, this universe's Iron Man pulls up and is like, hey, this maker dude brought our universe back, but like without any superheroes. So I'm trying to bring all the superheroes back. And the first issue ends with him giving Peter the spider in a vial. And he kind of has this whole moment where he like thinks about it. There's the fucking go get him tiger line from MJ, which every time that's in a comic, my fucking dick jumps. And we get the spider biting him. And the first issue ends with him getting the powers. And Iron Man kind of leaves him this like black suit, not the like black and white symbiote one, but just a black suit that's like an empty canvas. And he tells him like, you can make it look however you want. So like, design it however you want. Of course, obviously, we get the red and blue eventually. This universe's Green Goblin we get introduced to,
cool suit.
Who's in like more of like a kind of Robo-y looking suit. Spoilers for the 3rd and most recent issue, but
Don't spoilers.
Why?
Can you scroll back up to MJ for a second for me? Go get him, just for a second. I want to say what I'm about to say in the least weird way possible. In the least weird way possible.
Whatever it is, tone
She
it
was
down.
drawn in a very attractive way here.
Oh yeah, she's hot as shit. The artist who's working on this book, Jonathan.
Yeah, what?
You don't want to tap in?
No, I said she's beautiful earlier.
Oh, okay.
Jonathan Hickman is who's writing this right now. Big fan of his work. He's the one who's now done, but like a few years ago, totally revitalized the X-Men in the main universe. And the artist who's doing this is the guy that just finished with Chip Zdarsky, who I met when the 2 of them were doing their Daredevil run, which was also immaculate for the past few years. So this artist guy, I forget his name. I can find it at the top. But he is... Nope. Where is it? It should say on the front cover somewhere. Hickman Chichetto. That's his last name. I forget his first name. But his art is fantastic. But yes, spoilers. The 3rd issue ends in an interesting place too, where like Green Goblin's fighting Bullseye, and Spider-Man and Green Goblin like team up to stop him. And then they kind of have this moment of like looking at each other, and Green Goblin like takes the mask down, and it's Harry. And he like somehow can tap into Peter's suit and forces Peter's mask to come down. And they don't know each other in this universe at all. So he's like, hey, I'm Harry. And Peter's like, I'm Peter, kind of thing. And the 3rd issue just ends with Harry being like, You want to like go get a drink and figure out like what's going on kind of thing. So it's like Harry and Peter don't know each other, but now they know who we are. In the second issue, Peter's daughter catches him coming home one night, like through a window and like taking the mask off. And she's like, you're the fucking dude that's been swinging through New York for the past month. So like MJ and the son don't know, but already the daughter knows. So it's so he kills his daughter so that she won't tell anyone. But no,
Wait,
so it's
what?
just Patrick did a neck snapping motion on the daughter. So it's just doing
Okay, so you.
it's
Oh my God.
doing really cool shit that like most comics would take forever to get to, of like eventually his family finds out and eventually him and Harry find out that he's the Green Goblin, he's Spider-Man. But no, it's like right away. First issue, he gets the fucking powers. Second issue, like his daughter finds out. Third issue, him and Harry meet for the first time in this continuity. So it's just doing all the like Spider-Man-isms, but like just enough twists on everything that it feels so new and fun and like interesting. So Ultimate Spider-Man, I cannot recommend it higher. Jonathan Hickman's out there doing the Lord's work. Is there anything else we want to say in this long-winded topic before we get out of here?
The only reason it was long-winded was because you wanted to talk.
Because I want to talk about Spider-Man, yes.
You
I wanted to evangelize Ultimate Spider-Man.
He said, "What's everybody enjoying?" Anyway, here's 8 things
But
that
we
I'm
can't-
into
Oh, I
right
said
now.
it's
Final
segue out yet,
Fantasy and
though.
Ultimate Spider-Man.
Can't
All
segue
you
out yet.
said, that was 45 minutes of you yapping.
Nuh-uh.
Okay, Miss President of Yapsville,
Yeah,
may we have the floor?
please.
Please and thank you.
Back to you.
Why?
Oh, I thought you were gonna. I thought.
I don't
You
think
had
I
a
have
segue.
anything- Oh no, I was gonna go into my top. Should I go into my topic?
Oh, I thought
Well,
you were
You're
gonna
a-
talk
a
about
Malcolm
why
segue.
Yeah, so we'll cut
Yeah, but
and
that's a
then
part of
do
my
the
topic.
topic.
Oh, that's part of your topic.
Yes.
I mean, I wasn't gonna talk about that incident, but it kind of connects to.
Oh, it
one
does.
of
You're
my
going
topics.
next, okay?
Sure.
Right? Or that's what we
Oh,
said?
I thought.
Sure.
Wow.
It doesn't
Or
matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Just
doesn't matter.
undercut me while we're rolling.
Okay.
No, I'm
Let's
kidding,
all
I'm
chill
kidding, I'm
out.
kidding.
Well, whoever's next, let's find out.
All right. So recently, I got really mad at Malcolm, my good friend,
Co-host.
one of our best friends.
Good friend, co-host, boyfriend,
Yeah.
brother, son.
lover.
BFF.
Father. Anyway,
Maybe.
hint. No. Anyway, so basically, what was gonna happen is that I was supposed to meet up with Patrick and Malcolm to do schoolwork, and I was also really hungry, so I was kind of irritable. I will admit that. But I
Hangry, if you will.
Sure. But basically what happened is that I was supposed to meet up with them anyway. So we're supposed to meet at a coffee place and we're going to sit down and do some schoolwork for a while, whatever. I tell Malcolm on the phone explicitly. I made it very clear. I told him, hey, I have my placement at the elementary school until 3 o'clock. Or sorry, until 1 o'clock. Then I'm going to go home. What did I say?
Go to Dewey's.
I'm sorry. I was going to get a haircut from Dewey's, my friend.
Hi, Dewey.
I told him after I finish at Dewey's, I called him when I was going to Dewey's, right? I was like, I'm going to get a haircut, whatever. I'm going to go home, change, like shower, so I get all the hair off and whatever, and then come to meet you guys. And he was like, okay. And I told him, so it's going to be about an hour. Right? That's what I told
I
him.
didn't hear the conversation.
That's what I
but-
told him, right? So
Okay.
I was like, it's going to be about an hour. And for whatever reason, I'm talking to Patrick at some point, and he goes,
Well, 'cause-
hey, so Malcolm and I actually got food, and now
Was this the other day when you called me and
Yes.
said you were going to Fahim's and they
Yes.
had Thai House?
yes.
Okay.
So I'm in contact with Patrick after I'm done at Dewey's, and I'm like, hey, so are you guys at the cut that out if you want? I don't know. He goes, no, actually, we're gonna go up study at my house, and also we got food, like we got Thai House, which I love Thai House, like I adore Thai House now.
is the bomb, baby.
And I tell him like, I literally told him like, what the fuck, like why didn't you guys wait for me? Like I said, I'd be.
and then I called you after that because I was
yeah,
confused.
yeah. So we talked on the phone, and he goes, "Oh, Malcolm told me that you're gonna be an hour after Dewey's, and then it was gonna be like way too long."
Well, Malcolm said the following things. So
Yeah.
he said Mark said he's gonna go home after Dewey's, chill, eat, shower.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
said
Said none of that.
Like just a whole bunch of stuff on your laundry
Yeah,
list
yeah.
apparently. So
Yeah.
that's what he
So
said.
anyway, I'm starving.
Oh no.
I hear that they're eating, and they've probably already finished eating. And I was like, I wish I could have eaten with them. I'm hungry as hell. I'm irritable. And also, I didn't tell Malcolm that I was gonna take that long. So anyway, I show up, and I didn't expect to be kind of like mean to. Not I wasn't mean to him. I didn't expect to be like super irritable. But when I showed up, he answered the door, and I just walked right by him. Like, I didn't say anything to him. I was like, bro, don't even look at me right now.
Oh my god.
Did you tell Malcolm though that you were hungry or
This is-
wanted food?
No.
Because that's the only thing in his defense
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
think works is that it's not like he knew you were hungry and
didn't.
wanted food.
Well, here's the thing. Hold on. This
So
actually
I
doesn't
see-
work in his
but I
defense.
see the
It doesn't work
logic
in
in his
defense.
head of
No.
him being
Can I
like-
can I explain to you why it doesn't work in his defense?
please.
I need to.
We're sitting at coffee culture.
Sure.
And I'm like, okay, like I'm kind of feeling Thai house, and somehow Mark gets brought up of like, I think we were considering like, okay, wait,
Can I make
Mark,
an assumption
Yeah.
that you probably said, should we see if Mark wants to come or what's Mark
it
doing?
was something along those lines,
And he could have double checked with me, like, hey, are you going to be able to come or no?
It was something along those lines, but that's when he gave me the, oh no, he's gonna eat at home and he's gonna voice crack.
I never said I would
Home
eat at home.
shower.
So was your hangout supposed to be like a little lunch date, or was
Not
it just
really,
like,
but-
oh, I'll meet you at the coffee place?
Usually
The
it was like a
coach.
coffee place thing, and I'll get a little, we'll get a little snack, maybe a iced coffee, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so to be fair, like Matty said, there was no like food plan necessarily. But what annoyed me is like Malcolm's inconsistencies generally about like miscommunicating things and not.
He
being able
read 1 hour and haircut, and he went, okay, so it's gonna take an hour after his haircut.
That's
Yeah.
that's the crutch of the crux. That's the crux of the issue. Is Malcolm extrapolates, and Malcolm, I've said this to you multiple times
Yeah.
already. He extrapolates beyond,
comprehension.
beyond
There's
comprehension.
there's times where I'll talk to him and then I'll be like, hey, so are we still going to the gym and like you're driving? He goes like, what are you talking about? Like, I thought you were driving. I was like, you literally you said that you wanted to drive. Whatever. Anyway, my topic.
All right, now let's get into it.
So my
Get
topic
into it, yeah.
that I had planned and it kind of connected to this was basically like, is it okay to talk shit about friends? Is it?
He says after talking
right?
shit about his friend.
Because here's what I think. I think it's a normal human behavior to be able to like vent about friends, and I think you have to. I think to keep it all in and not speak anything that is frustrating you is a problem. I think that the healthiest way to do that is to confront them and talk to people face to face for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of want to get you guys' thoughts. Like some people might say you shouldn't talk shit about friends at all ever, even if it's like to their face. Like you got to keep it like super respectful and you can't get frustrated type thing. Like, what do you guys think about that? And then also a sub thing that I was thinking about was like, how should you talk with your friends? Should you be blunt with them and like kind of risk offending them and hurting their feelings? Because I feel like, for example, our friend group, we don't necessarily like air our grievances about each other to each other ever. Like I'm never like, hey Patrick, like it really angers me and frustrates me when you do this and whatever. I might like call Matty and be like, oh, like this happened and this kind of annoyed me or whatever about the other person, which is probably not great. So I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Like, do you think you should be direct with the person, or do you think that sometimes it's not worth it?
I feel like if it's like, I don't know. I keep in mind, I haven't thought this through
Sure.
at all, but just off first thought, I feel like if it's something like kind of insignificant and not really worth bringing up, then it's like, yeah, just like vent about it. It's like whatever if they don't really find out, because it's like insignificant. Like it was just like you felt this way in the moment, but it's like ultimately it doesn't matter.
And even if they do find out when it's some insignificant thing, it doesn't really matter. If
That's
I'm like
right.
talking to Mark, I'm like, yeah, fucking patch the other day, but it's like whatever.
Yeah.
It's not something I need to like confront you about.
Yeah.
But where's the line? Like,
And it's
at what
also-
point would it be like this is not appropriately?
I mean,
you
there's
know?
no like clear objective line, but I think it's obvious in the moment of like, you know,
because
when
like
something happens where it's like
put it this way, I know that I can be stupid and unfair sometimes, and I know for a fact that there are times, and this is not something that bothers me, but I know that for a fact there are times when like you guys might be talking and being like, oh, Mark was being an idiot today or being an asshole or whatever, and I feel like that's pretty normal for friends to do, to be like, oh, he's being a dick today or why is he being whatever. I was just wondering, like, do you think that's something that should be talked about with each other, or do you think that's like it's not going to be helpful or fruitful to have that conversation that you were,
Yeah.
kind of like
Well, how do you feel about what I said just now?
about like kind
About
of
the
separating?
significance of like the
Well,
matter
I think
at
it's
hand.
hard to determine what's significant and what's insignificant.
Yeah.
I think sometimes something may feel significant to me, but it may not be to you.
Yeah.
But that's a generally fair rule that you could use. Like if it's like really seriously an issue and it's been an issue for a long time, probably bring it up in person. But if it's like something that can easily go away, there's no use in fighting about it and bringing it up to someone else. I just feel like we don't really like air our grievances at all type thing to each other. Like I've never been like, hey Matty, like I think you're an asshole when you do this, this, and this. Like we just kind of like maybe like bicker a little bit, but it's never like a serious conversation. Like, do you think that we should like friends should be having these sort of conversations to like kind of make sure everyone's I don't know.
Sure, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where to me, it just depends. Like again, what it is. Because if any one of us, put it this way, if any one of you guys was doing something that like seriously offended me in any way, or like genuinely, like it wasn't, you know, it wasn't some minor stupid gripe or like, you know, argument about whatever bullshit, like, you know, that Patrick was 4-7 as tank in Overwatch or whatever yesterday, and that guy called you out in the chat. But like some guy in the chat just literally put,
You just put 4-7.
4-7. That was the whole message.
Oh, he wrote.
4 kills, 7 deaths.
But like, yeah.
Yeah.
But so, no, but that's just I'm kidding,
great.
obviously. But it's like no, if it's like if it's an actual serious grievance or something.
Like, can we get an example here just to make
Please.
it more real?
It doesn't have to
Not
be
a real example. I'm not saying it doesn't have to be a real example. I'm just saying like
hypothetical.
Hypothetically, what could it be?
I don't know. Like
what's
I think of
significant?
like, you know, if we were doing something and then, you know, one of us like flopped at the last second or something, and not like in a
feel like that's
I have to,
insignificant, though.
One of us?
not like I have to cancel plans or
Oh.
anything, but more of like a hey, we're already out, or we're like mid activity, or like something like that. And that's definitely things that
I'm
like,
gonna repeat this again. One. of
Malcolm's
us?
pulled a couple moments, and that's been like things where I've definitely like said to him like either in the moment or like at some point afterwards of like, yeah, that was like, and not like in an anger, or even like a confronting way, but just more of like a, yeah, that was like a little weird for you to do that kind of thing, you know? So it's like, it just depends.
But even in saying that, something that's interesting to me is that I feel like none of us have the ability to be direct with each other. I feel like that's the case. I don't
That's
know how.
you guys problem.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Because here's the thing. In my
Play therapist.
Definitely you guys
because
problem.
here's what I'm gonna elaborate on. When I was in like in both my past relationships, you know, you tell your partner like, oh, like me and the guys were arguing about this, or me and the guys were talking about this, or two of the guys were I was talking about something, and we were kind of like, oh, should we tell this other person, whatever. Both my past partners had described that like, why are you guys like not just talking to it? Like, why are you making it this weird like, oh, 3 people will talk about this person, or 2 people will talk about this person and be like, oh, this kind of was weird and this annoyed us and whatever. But there's never like a sit down like straightforward conversation. It's kind of like passive aggressiveness, and then it just fizzles, and then nothing actually happens. So I feel like that. I don't know, Varsh, what do you think?
I think that's so weird that you guys aren't talking about your stuff. Because there's, it depends on who you're talking about. Because you guys are talking about it in like a very intergroup thing.
Yeah.
So if there's a group of 4 of you, and if there's a situation where like 3 of you are in like a group chat talking shit about the other person, something is very wrong. I don't know if you guys have 3 people group chats. Don't out yourselves, unless it's for like a birthday. What is this? Unless it's for like a birthday thing.
Like
it's
a surprise.
Like,
Okay.
yeah, it's like, hey, the 3 of us are planning something for this other person. Like, let's all be very hush hush about it. Anything other than that, that's tea. That's too much. You can't be doing that in a group chat.
You're saying it has to come out in one way or the other. Like
Well-
it has to be like, you have to convert from having these like private negotiations to just like having it out in the open as a conversation.
Yeah, because instead of being like trying to get everybody on your side to be like, oh yeah, guys,
Yeah.
like Mark and Matty, Patrick was mean to me earlier. Patrick was being a bitch. And then you're saying all of these things to just the 2 of you.
Yeah.
And then all 3 of us are sitting there and we're all feeling angry at Patrick. He doesn't know what he does wrong. He shows up and he's like, la 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 la.
You know what's weird?
can't be doing that.
I feel like there have been times where I feel like when I say how I'm feeling directly, it just gets so awkward. Like,
Well,
like,
are you doing it in
sometimes-
front of everybody?
like in front of the guys?
Well,
not
don't
in
do it
front
in
of
front
random
of the
people.
whole. No,
Like,
I
for
mean,
ex-
don't do it in front of the whole group. I'd be like, hey,
Yeah.
Patrick, can we like step outside for a minute and just like talk about this thing?
Like,
But
for
I
a
also
sec?
don't think that there are very many
Because
instances?
even if
big
it's a
things
I don't think
with
so.
us.
I'm just saying,
It
for
doesn't
example,
have
like
to
if
be a big thing
yeah.
for you to talk about
I think
it.
it's how
No,
they
but
get,
like if we're playing video games together
No, I'm
and then
not
like
talking
one
about
of
that.
us is pissed at the other, like that's the type of shit where I'm saying where it's like, you know,
I don't know.
like for example,
video
like,
game etiquette.
like there's been times where like Patrick will say something or do something, and I'm frustrated with him or whatever. And I'm like, bro, like, what the fuck? Like, stop doing that. That's annoying me or whatever. Like, I'll be very straightforward with it and probably more mean than I need to be. So,
but I'm
done
saying
this?
more it's the thing
I
where
just feel like there's been times where I'm straightforward about how I'm directly feeling about something, and I don't think about how it's affecting people. And I think there's a pro and a con to that. Like,
but I'm saying more in the sense of like about not saying things where it's like you know, I might say to Patrick, like, oh, you know, we were playing video games the other night and like, you know, Malcolm was being dumb with this or Mark was being like a pain in the ass with that kind of thing. And it's like, that's the type of shit I'm saying. Where it's like, well, that doesn't really need to get like brought up or like hashed out because it's just like,
I don't think it needs to
It's
be
in passing.
But to me, I think it would actually like for example, if I'm lacking in some sort of way, I'm difficult to deal with in some ways. I may not want to hear it in the moment, but I think that would be like a helpful, healthy conversation for me to have. To be like, hey, Mark, like, do you actually realize that when you do this or when you say this or when you react in this way, that everybody around you is kind of like annoyed with you or whatever? Like, that's something I try to reflect on myself, but sometimes I'm in my own head and it's like, it's good to hear it from other people. So that's why when I'm thinking like on the topic of like talking shit about friends, I feel like having direct conversations with friends is like super important, even if it's not what you may deem significant. Because I feel like you learn from little shit like that, you know? Like I've never been like I just kind of like, I feel like we just bottle it down sometimes.
I don't disagree with that sentiment, but to me, it's more a thing of like, I would look at it of like, we're playing games, you know, one of us lost and they're just pissed and like, they're just pissed and like getting angry about something. And it's not like indicative of like who the person is or like anything like that. Or it's not like a personal
I'm barring that stuff.
It's purely just like a, you know.
If video games make you so angry that you're pissed at your friends, there's a lot that you need to be working
No, but it's like angry in the moment about like just like losing or whatever. But that's not. That's not like.
I'm not talking about any of that stuff. I'm talking about like, I think sometimes that stuff can relate to more like personal differences or something. You know, like it can be like a catalyst for that. But I'm just talking about in general. Like, to be fair, I feel like that sort of stuff doesn't really happen that often between us, where there's like personal problems between people.
Yeah.
But I don't know. My topic is kind of all over the place, to be honest. I'm gonna consult my notes here. I'm gonna see if there's anything else. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'd like to add to this from the female perspective.
Here we go. This is why we brought her on.
No, it's just that like every time I have some sort of problem.
Can you describe one of them? Because I feel like I'm having a hard time thinking about like a problem that I may have with one of the guys. I think they do happen. It's just hard for me to pinpoint.
Just like imagine you're out with your friends and somebody says something in front of a group of people
and kind of
about
you or something.
Yeah, somebody embarrasses you, and so everyone there clocked it, right? But instead of going around and being like, "Did you guys see what she said to me earlier? Like, did you guys hear that? Like, that was so rude." Just go straight up to her and be like, "Hey, you said this thing. I don't know what you meant by it. It wasn't cool. Please don't do that again." And then that's the end of it. And then everyone else is like, "Yeah, did you like? Wasn't that really mean that she said that to you?" And then you'd be like, "No, I talked to her about it. Like, we're good now." So that you don't have to let it go longer than it needs to. So you
these two scenarios that you're describing, like I feel like do you guys think that, okay, let me know if you disagree with this. She just described two scenarios. One in which she just kind of like talk shit about her friend to her other friends, being like, "Why did she say this? Like, what did you guys think about that?" And the second scenario in which she just went directly to the friend, was like, "Hey, why'd you say that? Like, let's figure it out."
Yeah, just cut it off at the source, and then nobody's talking shit. Nobody has like.
I feel like we never do that direct.
Sure, maybe there's a case for that, but my point too is also I think there's something to be said about. There's something to be said about like venting and like the gossip in quotes that like doesn't harm anybody and doesn't ultimately harm anybody or anything, and you don't want to like maybe say it to another person to like confront them about anything. It's purely like you just want to like blow off that steam.
Like put it this way:
did you cut your whole ass thumb with that?
Yeah.
Do you want a Band-Aid?
Are you bleeding?
This is your house. Do you have a Band-Aid?
Oh,
I think so.
I'm sorry, because the stupid metal was like coming off when I was twisting it. Now it's all
so silly.
Sharp.
Are you okay?
No, we're good.
My goodness. Are you going to suck on it a little? My goodness, ladies and gentlemen, we have our first on-show injury.
What?
56 episodes for something to go
file
wrong.
with HR. So do an incident report. I'd also like to add,
please,
two things. Because you guys are talking about it in very much like the inter-friend group talking shit. Which I guess I would personally say that isn't really great. But if you are talking about stuff with like an impartial third party,
then venting's okay.
I think then it's more allowed. Because if I was like with a bunch of people and then I'm talking to this other friend that I'm like, "Hey, this thing happened. You don't really know these people. Let me set the scene for you. What do you think?" Or like, hey, you do know these people, but you don't talk to them very much. Can I get an
It's
opinion
almost like the
on
idea
this?
of talking to like a therapist who's not going to be like meddled in your own
Yeah,
affairs type thing.
because if I was like, hey, Matt, Mark was really rude this morning,
Yeah.
and then he feels some sort of way, now both of us are angry. So
Yeah.
we both have this thing, and we're not going to talk about it, then we're all going to be just angry.
Doesn't that like, and I guess that's even a thing with therapy too, but doesn't that going to a third party potentially color things with a certain amount of like bias?
Maybe perhaps,
Of like,
but
I might go to a
also-
third party and be like, so this is what was up with Patrick and Mark and I, but
Yeah.
then like in reality, Patrick
It's-
and Mark would be
it's
like,
very
that's not
from
what
your
fucking
point of
happened at all,
view.
kind of thing.
Yeah, but it also gives you a new point of view, because if this person is impartial, then they'll be like, hey, have you
Maybe
thought about like,
you're-
what did you say?
Yeah.
Because what did you do? Like, what was your tone?
if
of your
the
thing?
third party is reliable in a way, they're not going to
Yeah.
just side with you and be like, oh, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I'm hearing. You're saying that the consequence of doing sort of a 3-on-1 or a 2-on-1 or 2-on-2, whatever it may be, is that there's going to be pent up feelings on one side and it's going to manifest indirectly.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to say. I don't think I've ever felt like ganged up on or anything like that there's anything
Well, that's
like
because
being
you
kept
do
under.
the ganging.
You do the ganging.
I do the
I'm
what?
just kidding.
Wait, what's that?
I was just saying you do the ganging.
I do the ganging.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Oh my
But
bad,
it
my
also
bad.
like, it doesn't have to be something that you feel or notice, right? Because if
This is
everyone
true.
is like, just say all three of us in this room are really angry at you right now.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even know it, because we're all pretending, we're all playing nice.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Which
I,
like is so bad.
I just
Because
feel
if I'm
like-
angry at you, I want you to know so that we can talk about it and figure it out. Because I don't like being angry.
like okay, here's the thing. Like, when you're in a relationship and you have arguments and you kind of you hash it out with them, and it may take hours, it may take days, it may take weeks. Like there some issues are just like big issues, and you want to figure them out. I feel like I don't think it's rare to say or like a hot take to say like there are sometimes big problems that you have with a friend or with friends, so you have to talk about them similarly that in a way that you would talk with your partner or whatever. And to me, it's just interesting that I've never had that experience of like talking to a friend about a problem that we have. I don't know if that means that we just don't have that many problems or that we're hiding
That's
something.
also my point too, where I just don't think we, between you, me, Fahim, and Malcolm, have like
Capital
a
P
very
problems.
big list of like, yes, capital P problems. I think if that list does exist, it's very like, it's a sticky note.
There's a
not
single
like
item on
sheet
that
of
list.
paper.
Wait, there isn't any items on that list. There are no items on the list. Cut that out.
Nuh-uh.
Cut that out,
Can I also add another thing?
please.
That if you talk, this is just with the unbiased third party. I don't know if there's an exception for your parents, because if
Oh,
I say
okay.
one bad thing about one person to my parents ever, that's it.
What do you mean that's
They
it?
hate them.
Oh,
Because I'd be like, oh yeah, this girl was mean to me in grade 10, and then like 4 years later, like, oh, this girl's coming over, like, oh, the one that was mean to you?
The one that's
bitch.
dead to us.
Okay. And then she's like not about it. She's just like, when is this girl leaving? Why is she in our house?
Oh my
I thought she was mean to you.
That's
And I'd be
ride or
like,
die
wow.
right there.
That really is. But that's the thing. I can't talk shit about any of my friends to my mom unless I'm ready to cut them off. Because
So
my mom's going to be like,
in
okay,
a-
they were mean this, and this,
Yeah.
and you're still talking to them? You're done.
So in a nutshell, if I asked you the question, how do you feel about shit talking friends, you would say that as long as it's to a third party, it's okay to vent sometimes.
Yes. I also do like, it's not, this is also the thing about what you were saying about how significant it is. Because if it's as small as like,
We're mad at a game or something.
I have no,
She can't physically comprehend it.
I can't comprehend you
Yeah.
guys being mad at video games. It doesn't make any sense to
I don't
me.
really
It
think
gets
we,
competitive.
Boys.
Oh, like I think in person, like Super Smash Brothers gets crazy.
Say, oh,
Sure.
Smash Bros
Again,
gets
I've
crazy.
not had this
Crazy.
experience.
It gets so wild.
Chairs are flying.
Yeah,
Fucking
Yeah.
knuckles are bloodied.
Sure. There's something very wrong
Back in
with
the day, FIFA got crazy too.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
FIFA got
Totally.
insane. Yeah.
FIFA got wild.
But
The,
I think
the
there was
baseball
probably
game?
controllers thrown.
yes, the baseball
I
game.
know it's not the baseball.
Were there controllers
You're
thrown? At
so
any point?
incredulous. How stupid do you
I
think
feel like I might have thrown a controller at some point.
You think so?
Probably. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember a controller breaking or anything. There must have been some like punching a pillow or a couch or just like tossing. I don't know.
I don't know why I remember this, but one of the first ever times I was at your house,
Yeah.
we played FIFA, and I beat you, And
Yeah,
it was
you
just
did.
a whole thing afterward of like,
Yeah, getting
I
upset.
can't remember what it was exactly that happened between us, but you were just like really upset with me.
I remember
Maybe I
that.
rubbed it in a little bit.
You know why?
Why?
Okay, so
You remember this time I'm
I
talking
do.
about?
I do. I think I know.
How
that.
do we both remember it?
I don't know. I think there was a pattern though.
Was it a pattern? Wait, what?
So
Wait, what's happening?
So Patrick was saying that like when he came over and we were playing FIFA one time, like when we were younger, like in high school, and we had like this like big fight after. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Do you want a Band-Aid?
When we're
I
done
feel
this
like
topic.
we need to pause.
No, when we're done.
Pause for medic.
Bink.
Bink.
Just go wrap it in toilet paper or something at
When we're done
least.
this topic, it's fine.
We'll wrap it up really
You
quick.
just want to like look super rugged and cool.
Yeah,
to just like
badass,
have your
dude.
hand be all bloody.
Yeah.
He's just the god of the Kratos thing.
And that's how you sell looking rugged, by going, maybe.
Yeah, but basically, Patrick came to my house and he beat me in FIFA, the game of soccer,
He beat
by
you?
EA Sports. Yeah, he beat me.
Beat you.
And and here's the thing, I've gotten much better with it over the years, but I'm a very sore loser and I can't handle it. So there were many times where like if he beat me and he was like even the slightest bit, if he was the slightest bit like full of like kind of like feeling himself because of it, I would blow up like, what, you think you're fucking better than me at this game? Like that was the thing that I couldn't like reconcile in my brain, was like,
Oh boy.
like even if he didn't say anything, I like my hostile attribution bias would be like, he thinks that he's fucking better than me and I can't have that. like that's a problem that I have.
We can't let this stand.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
to me,
that's so
I don't
funny.
think there's necessarily like a right or wrong answer to any of this. I mean,
Sure.
I guess there is like literally a wrong answer.
How do you feel about like the idea, if I told you like, do you think talking shit about your friends sometimes is okay?
I think yes. I think
In
venting.
what way?
But like talking shit is like a really
It's a
weird
it's a-
term
Talking
to use.
shit
Like it's
like says that you're being negative about it and you're putting them down, versus like talking facts is like, hey, I invited this person to this thing and they were like 2
Or-
hours late,
I'm trying
and
to-
that
I'm
is a
thinking of
fact.
some-
It's not you talking shit, but it's just
or just venting.
I'm thinking
generally.
Yeah.
of something in between that. I'm not when in my mind I'm not thinking like you're saying like this person's an asshole, like not like going that far, like calling them names and degrading them, but I'm also not talking about just stating facts. I'm talking about like, oh, did you see this? Like, why did they do this? Like, why did they, like, kind of like you're talking about the facts, but you're also, there's feelings involved with it. As it's hard to separate the feelings with the facts.
To me, it's just the venting where it's like, I don't
Yeah.
think there's anything wrong with venting and getting it out, because even though you might not be saying it to the person directly, for me, that is getting it out and not keeping it bubbled inside.
And you're not
saying like, oh, fucking the other day I could have killed Patrick for being a dumbass to one of you guys.
Every one of these examples has been me.
Nuh-uh.
Just for the record.
Nuh-uh.
so you're
Or
saying like
saying to Patrick, like, oh, the other night, you know, we were hanging out and fucking Mark did this and I don't know what the hell he was on about. Like, to me, that is like my getting it out
yeah, but do you,
of like not
but you don't think,
turning it into a thing or
but you don't
whatever.
think, but you don't think I ever need to hear any of those things?
No, because that's also my point where it's like, I don't think there's anything. There are major things that I think in the past could have been conversations,
Okay.
for example, that weren't. But like, it's not like when I'm annoyed at you for like, you know, some minor thing or whatever from time to time, it's not something to me that I'm like,
I have to talk.
it's important that Mark knows about this or that he knows like how I feel about it. It's more just like,
so
he
then
did
why-
something stupid, I didn't like it, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just venting it, but I'm over it. Like, it's
to me,
fine.
I think
So
all I'm
why do
saying
you
is
need to
like,
vent it at all? Then if it's so insignificant that you're not going to bring it up to Mark, then why does Patrick have to know about it?
because Patrick's probably feeling it too, or he knew about
He
it.
doesn't have to. And there's definitely times where I don't say things to like anyone. Like some minor thing will happen and I'll just be like, oh, that fucking was annoying or whatever. And then I don't bring it up to anybody. So it's like,
You guys should get into journaling.
Mark journals all the time.
Dude, can I show you
But
my
it
notes?
is, he's
Do you
going to
have
show you
do
his
have
whole
cute
journal.
journals?
He does
Do
on
you
his
make
phone.
like pretty little? Oh.
I just have like pages of
And
pages
guess how many of
notes.
those are manifestos? For what, we don't know,
Wow.
but just manifestos.
That word is so scary.
I know,
It's
right?
such a
It
big-
sounds like a
Such
scary.
a big
Yeah.
political word. I don't even know what a manifesto is, but I know.
so
what you
it's
either.
just so it's I don't know. I get like again, are there like more serious things that could get brought up, or like should we talk a little more? I guess in that more candid way than we do. Yes, but at the same time, I don't think there's anything wrong with I assume the similar ways we go about doing it now.
I'm gonna throw.
For
I
example,
think it's really funny that you guys are talking about your own friend
Inception?
group.
Oh.
It's very is
Inside
it
baseball?
meta? Is that the
Meta,
word?
It's meta.
Meta,
Where
yeah.
you
There's
guys are
stuff like
like
that, too.
instead of actually talking about your things, you're talking about what if you potentially hypothetically talked about your things, but you're
And then we're
indirectly
talking
talking about them.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys should just sit down and have a little talk without microphones.
I think I'll wrap up the topic
We
by
need content.
I'll wrap up the topic by having like another quick, I guess, prompt. And what I was thinking is like, we're talking about separating significant and insignificant things, what should be said, what doesn't have to be said. To me, I'm thinking like, are there certain things, like for example, like, do you feel like we're not critical of each other, like to each other? Because here's the thing, like I've thought about this before, and I've seen other friend groups, and people will like tease their friends about something, and kind of like it's a joke, but it's also like a point that they're making to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you feel like that's important? Like I'm
I
thinking
feel
like
that's mean.
it's
What's
mean.
what's an example? Why would you?
Like for
Well,
example,
Why would
we,
you
like,
joke about
we
something
break
that's so true?
balls.
sure, but I'm thinking like for example, like if Patrick like just like walked in with like the craziest, weirdest looking hairstyle, but he like
You
loved-
guys would never let me hear the end of it.
I know. That's okay. There you go. So then maybe we do it.
That's what I'm saying. I think for like small things
But
like
that's
that, we break balls
insignificant
or
enough
whatever.
that you can just be like, oh, it's your hair. But if it was something like
personal about something they couldn't change.
something big or like an action that they took that they feel really bad about, and you keep bringing it up just as like a hee hee ha ha. That's just mean.
I sometimes worry that like, for example, if I am really bad at taking any criticism, then like there is no ball breaking type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Say that again.
Like if I'm really bad at taking criticism, which I am, then like, does that prevent any like fun teasing? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, should that is that a healthy part of a friendship? Type
I don't.
thing?
Yeah, because I think we
Yes.
do all like make fun of each other and
Sure.
like break balls and whatever.
I don't
And
think-
we will say to Patrick like, "Dude, you got to get a haircut," or like you guys will say to me like, "Why are you still dressing like you're 5?" kind of thing, or like we all have these
this
little
outfit
things.
doesn't go together.
Sure. I literally
Now that I'm seeing it in
had
the
the-
light,
I had the thought in my head today of like Varsha's gonna say something about this.
then
So-
why'd you?
Oh, is it
I bet-
because of the blue and
Yeah, because I thought these were
yeah.
black pants because we were in the car.
No, I thought about honestly. I had a thought this morning of like this shirt probably goes better with like gray or black.
Not that I'm
pants.
wearing like the cutest fit right now.
What if
you're
but
adorable.
like
what if the pink what if like that blue in there was like the same shade as his pants?
this blue?
If that was the same shade of his pants.
That's a very interesting pant color. That's
no, what
like,
if his pants the pant color was on the
2011.
shirt? What if the pant color was on the shirt?
Oh, then that would
match.
it would tie it together.
Sweet.
Yeah.
We all break balls
Not the other
about
way
things,
around.
and I think that's
Sweet.
fun and healthy and fine.
Hey, quick activity. Let's everybody. I want you and myself and Patrick and Varshaa, if you'd like, with your own like I guess like friend group.
Mm-hmm.
Name one thing that you feel like you get like ball busted on. I mean, I think you mentioned one already, but
For me, it's definitely I think the clothes thing. But even like with Patrick and I's work friends, and this is more of like
Dresses
it's
like a
It's
12-year-old.
more of a like joke than it is
Yes.
like a serious like, hey, this is a gripe we have with you. But like
Oh.
the amount of short jokes
thinks
that
it's
get
a
leveled at
joke.
me.
short
yeah.
jokes.
The amount of short jokes every time when we were at Wonderland the last time, every 5 minutes it was, "Do you want to?"
That kind of annoyed me. Can I be honest?
Tall enough for the
Can
ride?
I be honest? I was annoyed for you.
They beat it into the ground a little bit, but that's the thing where it's like that's more of like a joke than it is like,
Guys, he's not that short. He's like 5'7.5".
yeah.
I'm 5'8", but that's okay.
No, you're not. Stop.
Patrick,
So like, there's stuff like that.
Patrick, what about you?
What do I get ball busted on?
Everything.
I was gonna say it's
more
hard
of
to
a-
pick for me.
Yeah,
like-
Patrick's more of a like
He's just.
bigger target.
Why is that? What makes him a bigger target?
I think
No, bro.
I think you're just so like it's easier to make fun of you because you just let it bounce off. Like you can say the meanest shit and you just be like, haha.
What was that
I
thing that
think-
Matty said to me a long time ago, and it was on the podcast,
What?
and you were laughing your ass off, like he was just a fucking dick to me, and I just like, do
Like,
you remember
in-
that
during the episode?
during the episode?
I don't remember. I think I remember something where was it something where he kind of like brushed you off or something?
It was something.
I feel like it was something where I might have brushed you off.
It may have been something like that, and you were like, "Oh, like he just fucking disrespected
Oh
you."
yeah,
and
yeah.
Just,
The most disrespectful shit. Yeah. Okay. Here's what's weird though. I can't think of anything that is like clearly like what I'm ball busted about, which is like, am I like way too sensitive that no one wants to ball bust with me?
Well, no, I just think you're like Patrick in the sense of like we'll make fun of you for anything,
Like what?
and not like anything specifically, or like I'll break your nuts, and I've broken all of your nuts about it.
no
but,
one's
like,
ever said that phrase ever.
the fact
Broke your nuts.
the fact
You know?
the fact that like I feel like I just was saying this recently where it's
Yeah.
like anytime we go to anyone's house, it's like you guys are in the door 5 seconds and you're like, I'm hungry, or where's the food at, or you got any snacks? Like I was literally, weren't we just? At
Is this
Malcolm's?
why you don't want us over? Is this why you don't want us over?
No, it's
Wow. It's all making
Wow.
It's all
He's
making sense
gatekeeping.
now.
He's
It's all making
gatekeeping.
sense now.
First of all,
are you
can come
embarrassed
over all
to
you
have
want? Because
are you embarrassed to have us over?
And second of all, no, it's because both my parents go to bed at like 9 o'clock or some shit, so we can't be over and being loud and whatever.
A lot of convenient excuses coming out of your mouth right now.
Yeah.
But it's like that's something, for
I
example,
can
where it's like
confirm that his parents go to bed so early.
I feel like I've made jokes about that like recently to like the three of you about like that idea of like you guys are always fucking hungry, or like when do you guys eat during the day, because it seems like it doesn't matter what time we're hanging out at, like everybody's always down for food. So I don't know, that's like not necessarily you specific, but I feel like you're like Patrick in that sense where it's not like there's like a particular thing we kind of give you a hard time about. It's more just like as things come up,
my general behaviors.
sure, you know who you are at your core, like
Yes.
that type of stuff will give you a hard time about.
The
Anyway,
darkness that's in
we
your
can, we can
core.
wrap up the topic, but I think it begs like I mean, to me, I'm thinking of a different topic that I want to do one day based on this, about like one thing, like what's one thing that we like about each of us. You know what I'm saying? Like what, like my favorite thing about Patrick or my favorite thing about Matty. I think
I was gonna say I have a topic I want to do one
least
day
favorite?
where it's like it's us each picking one of like everybody else's an opinion that they hold.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
how
yeah.
like dead wrong they are. So it'd be like an
That would be
opinion that Patrick
horrible.
has,
Yeah.
you
Ketchup
have,
chips.
and Malcolm has, and just
Boo.
like,
like serious.
Here's like it doesn't have to be like a serious opinion, but it's a thing of like Patrick, here's an opinion you have. Mark, here's an opinion you have. Malcolm,
It's
here's
like
an
everything
opinion
you
have
believe,
that, like,
everything you believe and stand for is wrong.
yeah, like your entire belief structure is just.
Unfounded garbage.
Anyways.
Goodness. We need to wrap this up because you have a medical emergency.
A medical
Oh yeah, this is
emergency.
true. Okay, go get.
Wait,
go take care of that.
before we do, Varsh, I didn't mean to cut. What's one
I-
thing that you feel like people bust your balls for?
I don't
What's a
know.
common experience?
What do I bust Warsh for?
Yeah, tell me, Patrick. You see
What
me
do you
once
break your
a
nuts
month.
for?
Huh?
What do you break your nuts for?
Yeah.
What do I do?
Between you and me, I feel like there's not like one. Similarly, there's not like one specific thing that I'll like keep harping on about. It's more like, you know, like if when you said advertisements or whatever the hell you said earlier in the episode,
My
like yes, I will
brain-
poke fun at you for that.
My brain stopped. And I had to get the word out. And I forgot how it sounded.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I'll tease you more about like, you know, it's not like one thing. It's more
Right.
like, you know, smaller things as they come up.
Like the mannerisms.
Like the mannerisms.
Just the little things.
Mhm.
She gets a little confused sometimes.
Don't we
Okay.
all?
Yeah.
That's
Anyways.
the topic. Thanks, people. Patrick, go get helped.
We're gonna do a little bit of
Drum
a.
roll.
It's not a game, but it's
No
gonna
one's
be.
gonna do a drum roll with me.
It's gonna be. You're alone in that.
That was really embarrassing.
Don't help her.
Shut up.
cut it out if you got no help.
Cut out marks and then
Wait, put this in.
So
So when she goes, is anyone
Everyone's
gonna help me?
giving
And
me
it
a-
goes to me.
just the most obvious cut of like it's not natural.
Drum roll. No one's gonna do a drum roll with me.
So we're gonna play. Now I don't know how I feel about this first word I'm gonna say. We can definitely like feel it out of like a better terminology. Green flag, red flag,
Okay.
deal breaker.
Okay.
I was
What?
literally
Is
thinking
red
about
flag not
red.
a deal breaker?
No,
No,
'cause
red
it-
flag is something that puts you on alert of like,
Mm.
okay,
Or like, oh, put that
Interesting.
in the
Keep
back
that-
of your head.
We've done red flags on the show as a discussion, but not in, like in this game type format,
No.
correct?
no, we have not.
We got a question.
Yes.
Have you heard of? There's two things. There's the beige flag,
Okay.
and there's also the yellow flag, which is
Okay.
not a green flag, but it's not a red flag. It's just a weird thing.
Isn't that what I thought that what beige
Beige
was?
flag is on the opposite, where the yellow flag is a question mark of is this a good thing or a bad thing. The beige flag is completely neutral, doesn't hurt anybody. It's just like a sweet thing that a person does.
Yeah, we can definitely add those colors
Yeah.
in if you like.
If-
Or shades, colors.
Yeah, if you don't,
Beige is a color.
unless it like overcomplicates it. 'cause
No, it
that
doesn't. No, it doesn't matter.
adds-
It
I was
doesn't
gonna say
matter.
I feel
Okay.
complicated.
There's
but
no. You what? You can shut your fucking dirty mouth. Is what you can do.
Patrick, take us away.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say it, and you guys, I'm gonna go one by one here, and
We
we're
have
gonna
to
just give our
label it.
opinions. Yeah, we're just gonna give our
Okay,
opinions.
so what category? What official categories are we using?
You know what would
Green,
be
red.
so cute, Patrick, if we had little flags to wave.
That would be really. that
I'm
would
sorry.
be
Wait.
cute.
Do you have post-its?
Wait. Be quiet for a second. I thought I heard music playing. I swear to God.
I thought you were gonna say that was the sound of nobody asking.
Yeah, right.
I thought
That'd
Mark
be
was
good.
gonna fart.
Patrick does this all the time.
Yeah, he does the fist,
Yeah.
fist pump and then rips ass.
Okay, so how about we limit it? How about we limit it? How about we
Oh my
not
God.
not all the time. All right.
Oh
Sometimes
my
I'll be looking
God.
at Patrick. He's like,
Literally yesterday, Varshaa and I were on the. Patrick and I played a little bit of Overwatch last night, but before him and I did, Varshaa and I were on the phone. I was like, all right,
He's
like,
like, okay,
I
I'm
told
gonna
Patrick
leave.
I'm gonna go play like games and whatever. And I said, but if you want, like, you know, Patrick and I will be playing Overwatch. I said, but just if you want, hop on the PlayStation app and just like sit in the chat and shoot the shit with us. And she's like, I don't know. She's like, you guys are gonna be playing your games. She's like, I'll probably just go or whatever. And then she's like, if I come, is Patrick gonna be gross? I'm like, what do
He's
you
like,
mean?
what? And I was like, well, Patrick's gonna fart, and I don't really
He's
want
gonna
to
like
be
that
there.
one-
burp or fart or like
burp,
moan
and
or
it's gonna be
something.
so
that,
gross.
that one day that you were on, I don't know what was wrong with me. It was
Something
such an
came over
anomaly.
you.
It was such an anomaly, but I did this by choice. Every single time the urge came, I took my mic, put it as close as possible to the area, and just let it rip.
That's great.
Beyblade, let it rip. Okay.
so I
Anyways.
think just to make it easy
Thanks.
and not confusing for us,
Mhm.
red, green, beige, like bad, good, whatever.
Neutral.
No,
Right?
I wish I had flags now.
But
I'm
you want to do those?
sorry.
Why'd you
three?
have to give me that idea?
I'm
You wanna do those
sorry.
three categories? Red,
Yeah,
red,
that's-
red,
Do you have?
beige,
You
purple?
could do post-its. You could give each of us a post-it, and there's the green ones and the pink ones, and
There's
the
no
yellow
way
ones.
Patrick has.
Let's just-
Kevin might have
multicolored
Post-its.
Post-its right now.
Kevin might have Post-its.
We or in the edit, you could literally have like a flag popping up.
He's
Yeah,
not
that's
gonna do
a
that.
him thing.
I tell you
That's
that
fine.
right now.
That's
He's
him.
not gonna do that.
I do want to keep Dealbreaker though. I would like that. To
Oh,
be an
I'm sorry.
option
Okay,
still.
let's just do green, red, deer, deer.
Breaker.
You guys can jump in with
Can't
it.
say
If
it.
you feel strongly about it, you can jump into the beige.
Sure, sure,
Okay.
sure.
We're just trying to describe how we feel. Though.
Okay.
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 First things first. Okay.
Mm.
They're still we're going hard in the paint with the first one. Okay.
Okay.
Can I guess what you're about to say?
Yeah. Go
They
ahead.
still live with their parents.
No, they're still good friends with their ex.
Can I ask? Is there any clarifying questions, or we just have to
Yeah. Can
You
we
can
set
ask
up a
clarifying
situation here?
like
If you
how
like.
like how
It's highly dependent.
like how close are they to the like how?
Like, how long was this relationship?
I'm gonna take it back. A blanket statement.
I prefer that.
Yeah.
Red flag.
Red flag.
flag. It's not a deal breaker. I need to know
Yeah.
more, but it's
Okay.
a little
To me,
concerning.
to me, I feel like it is important to know how long and everything like that. But to me, even if it was a very long relationship, to still be actively friends and like
Good friends.
good friends, and that means hanging out in person all the time. To me, there's some questions to be had at least.
There's definitely I'm on the same page as you guys.
At the
Definitely
very
questions
least, you also
have.
have to prove to me that it is purely platonic.
Mm.
Like they need to have moved on. You're with me, so it's like you've both moved
If
on.
this
kinda
dude is
thing.
single, it's
Yeah, like if it's some single fucking Casanova, then it's like a little like, all right, buddy.
it's
Like,
Fabio over here.
yeah, fucking
All right, Patrick. Next one.
Homer.
Her Brad Pitt. Her
Yeah.
ex looks like Brad Pitt. Okay.
wow.
I fumbled that real hard. 2, they're obsessed with conspiracy theories. Now, I just want to, for this one, I'm just going to paint a little bit of a picture.
Uh-huh.
Think Greg. So, not only are they consumed by conspiracy theories, their decisions in their life are influenced and, in fact, directed by these beliefs.
Yeah, that's a deal breaker.
Look, I don't know who Greg is.
Does Greg listen to the
You-
show?
Yeah, we probably.
Even if he does, I say it to his face all the time.
Not
You're-
great.
I think he believes in flat Earth.
Oh,
He believes in flat Earth. He believes
I don't know if
dinosaurs are in
that's, like-
Africa.
like
He-
I don't know even if that's
he-
conspiracy theory or if that's just dumb. Because I have conspiracy theories and they're different. You've heard them.
he believes that there's a dome over the Earth. That there's
Uh-huh.
no, like, we can't get
For
to space.
me, it's a deal breaker because it's like I don't think I could be with somebody who's either that, like, purposefully delusional or, to Varsha's point, dumb. And if it's to the point where they're
Poor
gonna like,
Greg.
if it's to the point where they're gonna follow through on things, like, I could not be with somebody who like would be like, no, our kids can't get vaccinated because they're putting what does Alex Jones say? They're making the frickin' frogs gay. Like they're putting stuff in the
What?
Alex
He
Jones.
says-
There's this
yeah.
clip of Alex
Chemicals
Jones
in
where he
the-
talks about them putting chemicals in the water,
Okay.
and he's like, they're turning the frickin' frogs gay.
What the
It's
hell?
this- Alex Jones.
such
I
an
believe
unhinged
in
individual.
very soft conspiracies that don't hurt anybody.
Sure, if they came to me and were like, listen, JFK, come on, I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. But
The
like,
moon.
I think
now
I'm
you're
joking. I believe
but, like-
we went to the moon.
But yes, if they came and it was like how they live their lives, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm not gonna get vaccinated, or like, I have a fucking burner phone, or whatever,
Off the grid.
or yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm
To
off,
me-
like that shit. I'm like, no.
to me it depends on if you mean literally obsessed or in the way that people use it casually, like, oh, they're just super into
Literally.
it. Literally obsessed, deal breaker. If it's
Yeah.
just like if they're into
That's too
some
much.
if they're into some conspiracy theories, I'd be like a bit of a red flag. Like I don't. It's a little bit much. But obsessed meaning like they always think about it. They always talk about it. It would drive me crazy.
Yeah.
True. 3, they only brush their teeth once a day.
Beige. I'd say beige. I don't think that's like a
I'll
horrible
toss out a
thing.
beige.
I think what beige is like a
Neutral.
neutral. I
Whatever.
would say yellow,
What's yellow?
red, yellow, green.
What does yellow mean?
That's like a not great or not bad. Beige is just like an observation.
I'm saying what's yellow though. You're saying beige is neutral, but what's yellow?
It's
Or are you
also
saying yellow's
neutral.
neutral?
Okay,
Oh.
well, yellow is a neutral, but it's more of a question mark neutral. Like, oh, you could like tilt me either way. You know what I mean? Beige is more of a like,
Straight and narrow, down the middle.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're all going beige.
So whatever the neutral, neutral option is,
Okay, well, yeah. Okay.
whatever the like,
Have you guys
I
not
don't really
seen-
care. I'm not
I
like
don't-
that concerned.
Okay.
On the
Have you
specific
not
thing.
seen the internet classify beige flags? No.
I've definitely seen like an Instagram video of
This is
some
just
girl
on like
being
girl
like,
TikTok.
I've
yes,
seen
I've
it.
seen like a girl video on like an Instagram reel being like, oh, it's a beige flag that like
It's a
he does this.
Okay,
yeah.
beige flag
You
is
give an
like
example,
is like
Patrick.
is like Matty buying me ice cream and then having to eat every other bite. Like, yes, he bought me the ice cream, so I can't complain. But then he also eats half of it, so it's not like a good thing or a bad thing. It's just an observation.
Sounds like a
on the
terrible
on
thing.
the specific note you
it's
said.
a terrible thing.
No, but he bought it, so
Um,
I'm just grateful to have ice cream.
I don't give a
On the specific
damn.
note,
You
that
should
said,
date Matthew.
On the specific note you said about the brushing teeth thing, I don't think it's unhygienic to only brush once a day. I think it's preferred to brush twice a day, but I don't think once a day is like, oh, gross.
Especially if you're balancing it out with like mouthwash and like other shit. Like if
If
you
you're stinky, red flag.
Yeah, of course.
sure.
If you're not stinky,
I think that's a general good rule of thumb with anything hygienic wise
Mm.
as it pertains to like flags and stuff.
if
Where like
people
if
can
it was like, you
tell-
know, do they not shower every day? Then it's like, well, if you're fucking working from
BO.
home or some shit and like you're not sweating up a storm, it's like then maybe you don't need to shower every day. But it's to the point of like if you're stinky, if we can smell you, big red flag.
Okay.
Thanks for that, Matt. They wear.
Are you stinky, Patrick?
Am I stinky right now?
come over here and give him a whiff.
Come here and
Mark,
take a
let us
whiff
know
of
if
me.
Patrick's pits are stinky.
Oh, it's unbearable.
They wear Crocs to the gym.
Beige, couldn't care less.
Yeah, beige.
Really? I thought you maybe.
I don't like when I just don't like how popular Crocs are getting. They're ugly to me. But yeah,
They
beige.
are ugly, but they are comfy. Have
I-
you ever put them on?
I have not.
I don't own Crocs.
When I was
but
a kid.
kind
You
of
want a pair of Crocs to
well,
lounge around it. Some chancletas for your
some
house.
chancletas.
I love Crocs.
Some
I wanna
chinelas.
have that look.
Okay.
Would you judge me?
Yep.
Okay. They clap every time they clap every time the plane lands.
That's beige.
That's
That's
also
beige.
not a red flag,
It's like
but it's
dumb.
it's so stupid.
I think it's a bit.
It's an ick.
I-
it's.
I will say I haven't experienced the landing clap
Have you
since the early 2000s, like
I don't
mid.
think I've ever experienced the whole plane clapping.
I
Every
experienced it
time
a
there's,
lot
like,
as a kid.
shakes, and then we land, and everyone's just like relieved to be on the ground.
I've heard the size.
Everyone
of
is like, "Oh my god,
Maybe now,
thank you."
because like Boeing's planes keep falling apart. Maybe people clap when they land now because they're like, "Holy shit, we didn't know if we were gonna make that one."
I kind of think that I've heard people talk shit about people who clap, and I feel like
It's. I
There's a
don't
piece
think
of
it's
it-
a bad thing.
there's a part of it that's a little bit endearing. It's like, oh, that's sweet. They're just
Yeah,
appreciative.
They're just
that
exciting.
you know.
It's
excited
a
that
certain.
they're
There's
playing.
like a certain amount of superstition too, because me and my mom and Michael always make fun of my dad because every time we travel, as we're walking onto the plane, my dad doesn't fucking clap at the end or any of that nonsense. But as we are walking onto the plane, my dad stops at the doorway, leans over, and kisses the side of the plane. Every time, without fail, my dad kisses
that's amazing.
the side of the plane as like a hey.
Hey, baby, keep us safe.
Get us through this. Every time he kisses
It's
the plane.
so
You got this.
funny.
And my dad actually, to the clapping thing, my dad doesn't clap when the planes land, but like if we, especially when I was like younger playing like hockey and shit, if we had like a fucking game in like Orangeville in like a snowstorm in December, some shit, and it's like, you know, an hour and a half there and an hour and a half back kind of thing. When we get home from like long drives like that, my dad like taps the hood of his car kind of thing. And he's like, you know, basically like out loud is like, you know, good job, like kind of thing.
That's
So
like that's a superstition.
it's a
Like, that's
superstition
like
thing of him like thanking the car of like, hey, thanks for getting us home. And for the plane thing, it's him kissing it of like, hey, please get us where we're going kind of thing.
Oh, that's great.
That's so funny. I don't think it's a bad thing. Like it is kind of endearing. Like, oh, when we land, everyone's like, oh, you did so good, pilot. And I'm like, that's slay, pilot.
But it's also like, but it's also like pretty quick. You're just like, all right.
Yeah, but it also wakes me up and pisses me off. Because like the plane landing doesn't wake me up, and then we like taxi for 20 minutes. I don't want to be awake for that. But then people going like, oh my god, thank you so, and I'm like, what happened? I hate it, but it's okay.
Beige is all around, Patrick.
Beige is all around. They're a really bad tipper.
Red.
That's a red flag.
It depends on what we're tipping at.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's a
Restaurant.
sit-down restaurant,
At a restaurant,
Sit-down restaurant.
You need to be
what does really
tipping
bad
well.
mean?
Anything
Like, no tip?
below like
Don't know.
15?
I would say anything below 10 is bad.
I'm putting a pin in it because I have something to just briefly mention.
Okay.
May I have the floor?
Please.
You may.
I just wanted to say, well, two quick things about this one specific place. The Mexican place in town, the taco place. First of all, I cut it out, whatever episode it was that we mentioned it, because like we kind of keep things not specific, even though our fucking whole viewership is people in town. But Dewey texted me that day that episode came out, was like, hey, what was that Mexican place you guys were talking about? It sounded really good. I don't know why you guys are like gatekeeping it. I was like, no, we just try and like keep things like specific to our town out of it. But I told him, I was like, this is where it is. I was like, and what it's called, whatever. I was like, it's really good. Check it out. But I went there a couple days ago or something.
Does this have to do with tipping?
Because well, it's more so the fact that tipping, basically what I'm trying to say to you guys is that I'm in at this place because I went there.
What do you mean you're in?
And she like the lady who owns it knows me. Like she'll see me when I
Means you
come in
have
and
a
be like,
She
you know,
loves you.
hey Matt or whatever.
Sorry.
I
loves
called
Matt.
her on the phone and I was like placing an order to like I want it to be ready by the time I got there so I could just pick it up and go. And when I was on the phone, she's like, oh, and who's the order for, whatever? I said, oh, it's for Matt. And she's like, oh, hi, Matt, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, hey, what's up? And I got there, and I think I only got one thing of tacos or whatever. I think my whole bill was like $21 and change. And I had like $25 in cash on me. So I was like, you said 21 or whatever, right? And she's like, yeah. I said, okay, here's like 25, just keep the rest or whatever. So not like a big tip by any stretch of the imagination. But she was like, oh, like, that's nice. You don't have to do that. It's too much, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, do you want like a drink or anything? I'm like, no, I'm good. And she's like, oh, just long story short,
That's a 20% tip.
She told me just take a can. And I was like, but then I got to pay you for the can. She's like, nah, just take a can. And I was like, I'm fucking in. I'm in with these people. Tipping's a whole thing. Patrick, this has to be a topic. We'll save it.
It has to be a topic.
It has to be a topic one day because Patrick and I have argued ad nauseum.
I'm going to throw it
about
out.
Tipping.
I'm going to throw out that it really depends on where you are. I think if you're just like, if someone's just like handing you something wrapped in like you shouldn't have to tip for that.
Yeah,
if it's like
no
something
tip.
really quick. If
Sorry,
someone has
I'm
to-
not tipping you on your iPad because
Yeah.
you took something out of a fridge and handed it to me.
Yeah, I've had
Oops.
many times where I'm like at a food court,
Oops.
like at the mall that I work at, like the food, like the food court. They'll be like, oh, can I get this? And then they'll just kind of like throw it in a container, and then I'll be like,
That's the craziest action.
And they
The
turn it
swivel.
around.
The swivel.
yeah.
They like hand
the
you a
craziest.
cup at a food court and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, go fill up your own drink, but
Yeah.
also tip me."
So
No.
that I don't tip for that sort of shit. But if I'm
Yeah.
at a
If
sit down
you're
restaurant
sitting
and I'm
down,
getting served, like
then
you gotta
100%
go
you
you
have
gotta
to
go at least usually the minimum's like 15 in the corner. no?
Anywhere from 15 to 20,
I think that's fair.
is a decent tip.
I think-
Anything below 10,
Is a bad tip.
I
Is
think
it
if someone's at a
bad?
restaurant and they're poorly tipping like 5% or nothing, then that's definitely like
I think it's a red flag because what's wrong with you?
it's definitely not
It's just a like disrespectful.
it's definitely not a
thing.
deal breaker. But I'll be like, what the hell is going on here? Like, why are you not tipping at all?
Yeah.
It's a red flag.
Red flag.
Especially on a really big bill.
Sure.
You must.
We have to
tip
get
us.
to tipping as a topic at some point
Yeah.
because
I'd love
that's
to.
'Cause
something
there's
that
A lot of tipping
Fahim and I
etiquette.
have
Yeah.
argued
Also,
about a
different
lot.
countries have different tipping etiquette.
That's true.
This is true. They don't believe in anniversaries.
You don't believe in a recurring date?
They don't believe in celebrating anniversaries.
I just think that's lame.
that they don't want to celebrate.
Yeah, I want to celebrate everything.
That's a red flag for me. Like what? Like it's like, oh, like we've been together for 5 years. Like that means nothing. That this day means nothing.
Yeah,
Like, we're not gonna do
just
anything.
because it's like between 5 and 10.
I
like, that
understand.
doesn't mean it's not.
I understand the silliness of like, for example, like commercialized holidays and shit, like Valentine's Day, that sort of stuff. But like a personal anniversary, like, hey, we've been married for 10 years. Like, let's do something on our 10-year. It's like, no, I don't give a shit. It's like, all right, that's a red flag.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I guess if it's like
Just say you're
earlier,
lame.
if it's
Yeah.
earlier on, because that's what I was thinking about it. Where I'm like, to me, it's like, maybe it's more of a beige. But
Yeah, but if it's
in
like
the
a dating-
context of
Oh.
like a long thing,
Yes.
that's like,
If it's like, oh, like 6 months, and it's like, I don't really, then it wouldn't be crazy for you to be like, listen, we don't have to. You know?
yeah. But when it's like
we hit 13 months, which is like not really that big of it, but we like
the month
finished
after
a year,
yeah.
and he's just like, yeah, so do we still do this? Like, or am I still
Oh, you guys
saying-
didn't do anything for the 12th month, but you did it for
No, we
13?
did.
Oh.
No, it's just
But
like
that's what he
every
was just
month.
like,
All we would
up
do is just
until
every
12.
month I would just text her and be like,
Oh.
and she'd text me and we'd just be like,
He'd
you
be
know,
like, oh, another
happy,
month.
happy
And I'd be
8,
like,
I
yeah.
thought,
happy 9.
I thought you hated that.
I'm against the like celebration aspect of it.
I just
of,
exposed
like,
him.
but I told
I
her
could've sworn
too
you
of
did
like,
say you hated that.
I told her from jump of like, I am against the like,
Going out and doing.
we're gonna like celebrate 6
Oh,
months
I
or
see.
2
He
months.
just like
I'm
sends
gonna,
me a text and he's like, hey, by the way, that's 7. And
or
I'd
I'm
be
gonna
like,
like
oh.
Oh,
post
I see,
on my
yeah.
fucking Instagram like 2 months for the fucking world to see.
Yeah, that's
like,
anything under 6 months should not be celebrated.
but all
Is
it
that
was
mean?
for me.
Is that mean?
I don't think so.
We're in agreement on this. It would just be a thing of like I would just text her personally and be like, hey, happy 8 or like happy 9 or whatever. And then when it got to the year and we went and celebrated our year, but then for March it was like happy
He's
13.
just like, yeah, don't know if we should be doing this still. I don't know if we're counting,
I
but
was just
13.
saying like I didn't know if you wanted to still count the months or if you wanted to just now do it as like years.
But I still think that every month is still like
Well,
a
you're still
milestone.
gonna get the text.
Yeah. We don't have
14
to like
coming up.
go out and about.
No, we'll save that for the
We just
big fancy thing.
acknowledge
But yeah, so probably a red flag, especially
Bit of a
like
red flag.
later on
Yep.
as
True.
it goes on and on.
when it becomes like a thing
Yeah.
to have an anniversary.
Yeah,
They collect swords.
I think that's cool.
green.
That's green.
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 Well,
Yeah,
not that
green.
it's like a really good thing. It's just like a. Oh,
I
that's
think
a
it's cool. Like if you have like a
thing to-
samurai sword on the wall, I'm
Exactly.
like, dude,
I
that's
want a
dope.
fucking
Green.
samurai sword
Oh.
real bad for
And if you have
reasons that only my male genes can explain.
and they collect and they have multiple like swords and stuff. That's cool.
I
Yeah,
want
yeah.
a sword,
Wow.
and I don't have any male genes.
I'm kind of surprised with that response.
I
I,
think
don't know
that- I
why I
think-
was expecting.
I think
more of a
I can
negative
imagine
reaction.
some girls being like a history buff and she just has like a bunch of different swords from different dynasties and shit. I'm like,
What if it's an anime thing of like anime swords?
I get down
That
with
changes
too.
things.
that might be
I
it.
could get down with that if a girl's like,
Beige.
"Here's my fucking like lightsaber collection" or some shit, or like,
No, but if she's like into like anime and has like every anime like different.
Sorry, I
It's a bit
don't have
beige.
a lightsaber collection. Okay.
Yeah, I'd say beige if it was like specific to anime because it might be. I don't know. I think people who are like insanely into anime and have like it's just a little
How
bit.
big is the collection?
Yeah, that's,
Once you hit 6 swords,
That's true.
that's
We're
too many
talking
swords.
6 swords.
yeah, that's cool.
That's
That's
what we're talking.
That's green.
anything. I think up to 6 swords, you're cool.
7 swords.
If you have 12 swords,
What about Seven Samurai? Seven
I don't
swords.
know what that is.
It's a film that I.
But I'm sure that's fine.
Okay.
I'll save it.
They chew with their mouth open.
Oh, deal breaker.
How
100%.
like the whole time?
Not at all.
There's no like break. It's just like the whole time they're chewing with their mouth open.
That's a
Whenever they're
red flag.
chewing, it's with their mouth open.
I had
What
to
if I
sit
really
Matthew down and just be like, "Hey, I haven't seen you do any of these things, but I need you to know that this will not fly."
What if I'm
I
just
was
like
like, you
what if I just
can't.
like I'm like completely in love with somebody and they do that? Like, is that gonna be it? Like, I don't think so. I think for that reason I'd say red flag.
But wouldn't you have seen them eat before you fell in love with them?
Probably, but I don't think it would have stopped me from falling in love with them.
Okay.
I think I'd be like, I don't like that and it bothers me, but like if I'm really in love with this person, like that's not gonna stop me. That's not gonna be like, oh, we're done because you chew out loud. Like it's gross
No,
and I don't
it,
like
like-
it, but it's not a deal breaker. Like we can figure it out. Maybe we can work on it.
That's one
go
of
to
those
therapy.
things that will grate my gears until
Grate
it's
your
too
cheese.
much. It'll grate my cheese, and then I'll be like, hey, this is like 6 years in. Like, hey, we're breaking up, and this is the reason. But also, you chew with your mouth open, and it's grossed me
Now
out since
who's
day
keeping
one.
things inside?
Matthew, your flag, please.
For the chewing food, that's a red.
I agree.
It's all right.
That's like a
Red.
we need to work
That's
on.
a strong.
Oh
It's
my
a strong
gosh,
red.
red. And then if I take it off, my phone's green,
Here you go.
so I can wave stuff.
You should
He's not
really
even
wanna
paying
wave
attention.
flags.
Has
Yeah,
a best
we should-
friend of the opposite sex. Or
Beige.
sorry, rephrase. Their best friend is a member of the opposite sex.
Beige.
Okay.
Best friend of the opposite. So, like for example, like if my girl had a guy best friend.
How
I
do I
think
say
it
red?
depends. I think it depends on the threat level, because it's allowed to be red, but it depends on the threat level.
My instinct, red. That's my instinct. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. That's my instinct. I think that it could
Because
be.
why am I not your best friend? That's what
There
I'm
you go.
saying.
I think it could be beige. It could be beige. I think that my instinct is to think red
Okay.
because it's like, I don't know. Some people have the opinion that guys and girls can't truly be platonic, and I think that's a little silly. I think they can be. I just think it's like, oftentimes like that feeling of like fear is like, well, it's a part of insecurity, whatever. But I also think there's some foundation to it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a reason why people are nervous about that thing, because sometimes there's some weird thing going on.
Because, like, I'm gonna say like 8 times out of 10, in media especially,
Sure, in
when
movies
like
and shows and
when like the people break up, they always go to the best friend, and I'm like, ooh, I knew there was something in with you bitches.
But also, like, how many
and
people?
So it's just like,
Yeah.
Like
how many times have you just like heard of like, even it's like social media, like like movies, shows, people being like, oh yeah, well, we've been really close for a long time, and it's like if the stereotype is that if the guy has the opportunity, he'll kind of go for it. You know what I'm saying? So that's like something that a lot of people think about, because it's like when you have a relationship between a guy and a girl, or doesn't matter, could be guy, girl, whatever. But let's say you have 2 people who are like best friends. They're getting along really well and they're like super close, and the only thing that's differentiating them from a relationship is the physical intimacy part. So if they are attracted to each other but they just don't do anything about that, then that to me is like an issue.
that's
You know
a
what I'm
red
saying?
flag. If you're attracted to your best friend, then you can't have a best friend.
There you go. I think if you have no attraction and you have no,
It's completely
I think that would be
platonic.
more beige for me. I think if there's like, if I ask the dude and he's like, oh yeah, she's cute, whatever, but we're still friends, I'd be like, okay,
Ooh.
that's a red flag.
Yeah, that's weird.
And if she said like, oh yeah, he's a cute guy, but I wouldn't think about him like that. It's like, if you have that physical, no, red flag.
You know my best friend. You've seen us.
Mr. Cam.
Yeah, you've seen us in a room together. There's
Manuel.
nothing. Yeah.
Camuel.
Camuel. Yep.
Yeah, no, I think
Is
of
he
it
from schools?
Yeah. I think of it as a beige just because I'm used to Varsh, where I'm like, well, Cam's like arguably your closest
Did you try to
friend.
size him up at first?
Huh?
I think he did.
What do you mean?
Were you like, let me
'Cause
let me
we
see about this
went-
gentleman.
Okay, so every year, Cam and I. So you started out when we went to the distillery district for the
Okay.
Christmas market,
Mm-hmm.
way back before COVID, and then the things happened, and then as our first like hangout, well, one of the first hangouts, it was like, oh, Cam and I are going to this thing, because he was like, hey, do you want to go? And I'm like, well, I'd like to, but I also like, I'm going with Cam because this is like a thing that we do, and this was like pre anything with us, and so he came, and then afterwards you were like, oh, I just thought it was weird that you invited me along to go with a boy. Like, what were you trying to? Didn't you say something like?
I don't recall
You
saying that at all.
You did.
I
Okay.
don't recall saying that at all.
No, you did, because you were like, oh, I just thought it was weird, because I was just like, why are there 2 boys here? Like, I thought, like, I didn't know what was going on.
You know what I'll say? Can I jump in with something?
Why are you? You look so confused.
I don't remember having thoughts about you, me, and Cam hanging out at the
It was
distillery.
literally the distillery, and then Cam, on the other hand, was the entire time he was just like, I kept trying to leave you 2 alone, so that you guys could, like, I don't know, hang out. So he kept like wandering away from us, and we were like, oh, where's Cam? Oh, I guess you'll find us later.
I think as I'm sitting here reflecting on this whole topic, I guess I'm thinking like, if there's been any sort of like vibe between the 2 people, that there's like, you know what I'm saying? If there's ever been any like, oh, this could go, then that to me that's a red flag. But if it's been like friendly, pure since its inception, then that's cool. I think that's a beige. If it's like,
What if
they're
you
actually,
haven't met them though?
what if I haven't met them? Well, I think I'd have to figure what I just said out though. Like, even if I haven't met them, like I have to like ask my partner, like, be like,
You want to fuck this guy?
Yeah, be completely honest. Do you want to fuck this guy? No. Be completely honest. Like, has there ever been anything between you guys? Has there ever been any feelings about like, attraction, like potentially going to that place? If so, then I'd feel kind of uncomfortable with you guys still being close and hanging out when there was that before. Because I don't know. I trust you, but I don't know what this guy's, maybe in the future he's gonna want to like rekindle that
Slip in.
whatever it slip in. So yeah, I think it depends. I think it can be fine, but it also could be iffy.
It's also like if you're doing like one-on-one things.
Oh, that's an interesting one because to me it's like even if it's like purely friendly, it's like if you're like hanging out in person all the time, I feel like I can't help but feel weird about that.
Yeah.
Just as a guy, I'll be like, oh, like she's like
Are you taking
once a
another
week
girl
she-
to dinner?
yeah, once a week she's going out to a movie with him. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Oh my
So
God.
for this next one, please give me permission to. I would like to act this out
Yep.
just to get the point across as to what the experience would be like.
An accent. Here we go.
All right. So
Valley
has
girl.
has a Toronto man accent.
Ugh, gross.
Wagwan fam, nice your beak. The youths out here are wildin' fam. Where the man da mat.
Deal breaker.
Deal breaker.
Deal breaker, deal
breaker.
breaker, deal breaker, deal
Deal
breaker,
breaker.
deal breaker.
I don't
What do we
even
always
have-
make the joke of? That girl on the podcast. If the business is true,
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
left your moms in the hood?
deal breaker. We make
Something
fun of that
to-
girl.
You make
all
me
the time.
sick to my stomachs, fam.
Stomachs. That's the crazy.
Deal breaker.
You make me sick to my stomachs, fam.
I've been telling Patrick like every time I'm on Instagram Reels, I'll scroll and it's like some guy at the mall. And he's like, "Bro, what's the worst?
hate
What's the
it.
worst high school in Brampton, fam?" And he goes,
I've seen those.
he goes, any high school in Brampton's the worst, fam. And it's like it's the
No,
grossest
it's
shit.
literally like you do not talk to your mother like that. We
Yeah.
literally, this is deja vu because I've said it before, but you don't talk to your mom like that. You don't talk like that in your place of work.
Yeah,
You just think it's cool
yeah, exactly.
to do that, like in a mall.
It's so put on.
I
It's
would
so
rather.
gross.
I know
You
we
definitely
have
don't
a
do that.
history on the show of making fun of the
I'd rather
Valley
that.
Girl accent. I would rather the Valley Girl
100%.
accent than the fucking
10 times out of 10.
If the business is true, I would
Yeah.
rather the like, let's go to the beach. I would
I'm with you
so
on
rather that.
I'm
Go
with you
to
on
the
that.
beach.
So, anyways, deal breaker.
Deal breakers
Deal
Let's go right
breaker.
away.
all around.
Even if I was like in love with this person, I would never fall in love with someone like that. First of all, but even
Yeah,
if
I don't
was,
even have friends
if all of a sudden
with
like
that accent.
day 75 or let's say a year in, she just started speaking like that. I'm sorry.
And even
It'd just be like, oh,
Yeah.
never mind. I was about to get crude with it, so we'll save
Oh,
it.
okay.
If I may sort of feel the waters here, how are we feeling so far? We can go for a bit longer, or we can call it here.
I think we're good to
Do
wrap
like-
it up.
Well, it's
like-
almost 1 in, and
Oh, is it
we're-
already?
It's 12:50.
We're a while into this, so we can maybe rattle through a couple more real
do
quick,
like
I
2 or
think-
3 more?
You want to do 2 or 3 more?
and
Sure, we can do
then
it.
bounce.
Yeah, we'll just.
Well, let's do
There's
2 more.
no elaboration.
I kind of want to highlight the ones I did, so I can save the ones because I have a list of 40 things here.
Goodness.
So
How about you just rattle off a bunch of them and we'll just give you a color and go?
sure,
rapid
No, no
Rapid fire.
elaboration.
fire. No explanation.
no explanation whatsoever.
let's do it.
I'm
Okay,
sure
ready?
that can't possibly come across in any way. Rapid fire, baby. Let's do it.
Is a ginger.
Green.
Beige. I don't care.
Actually, yeah.
Beige.
Is it necessarily a good thing?
My first
I like
crush was a ginger. We are elaborating. Let's go.
Beige.
Go.
Vapes all the time.
Red.
Red.
Uses acronyms when they talk.
Like what?
Perf.
LOL, LMAO, perf.
Red.
See, but it depends because if somebody's going,
Ironically.
like, yeah, I need you to come.
oh, you're talking.
Like I'll be there ASAP. That's an acronym, literally,
That's
but that's
true.
what people. That's how people talk. So it depends.
You're making a point. Beige.
Also, I would say
Beige.
ASAP, not ASAP. Anyway, beige.
Super competitive.
Insanity.
Super competitive at everything.
Oh,
Beige.
he is, but beige.
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 Is a mobile gamer.
Beige.
Just why are you playing on a fucking phone when you could be playing on a console?
I
like a
know,
real
but
person?
But
beige.
what about
Beige,
my
I
puzzle
guess.
games?
You do have your.
You
puzzle
can't
game.
say mean things. I'm
I
right
know.
here.
You just said beige.
Prefers hot dogs over hamburgers.
Beige.
Beige.
Ooh, that hurts, but beige.
I can't.
Is
eat
better than you at your favorite games.
I mean, ultimately beige, but that also hurts.
It would bother, but beige. Yeah.
Corrects you in every little thing.
Red.
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 Is rude to waiters / waitresses.
Red. Oh,
Red
deal breaker.
/ deal breaker.
Wait, is rude to waiters / waitresses?
Yes.
What was the one before that?
Corrects you in every little thing.
I think that's a deal breaker. Everything, every little thing to correct you. That would
Yeah.
Be, yeah, we're done.
You think you're right every single time?
I think
False. False.
I think if someone was like, I was hanging out with someone and they were kind of rude to the waiter, I'd be like, that's a red flag. Let's talk about that. It wouldn't be like instant, we're done. But if it was like every single time, then yeah.
I would argue that you're an adult and you should be
Mm,
kind
In
and
general.
respectful to
Have your
everybody
shit
that you
together.
meet.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Is a pick me.
Red. I can't deal.
I'll say red.
Yeah.
Hugs everyone they meet.
Beige.
Red.
Beige.
A little bit red. I think like,
It depends on what kind of hug it is.
that's true.
If it's like a full like
like double. That's true.
Full hug.
Side hug is different.
Double
red.
hug. Double.
Full
Oh.
frontal double hug. Double
Red,
hug.
you don't know these
Double
people.
hug.
Has cheated in the past.
Big red.
Oh, like you're
Big-
meeting someone, and then you're like, okay, you've cheated in
Deal
the past.
breaker.
Yeah, I'd say deal breaker. I wouldn't want to date anyone who's ever cheated with anybody
Once
else.
a cheater, always a cheater. That's what they
Wow.
say. I didn't write that one.
Sends nudes right away.
Red flag. Red flag. Right away, like right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
Red.
the
I've never
pervert,
experienced nudes.
the pervert. Would you like to?
No.
The pervert
You're
in
such
me.
a weirdo.
Matty's bright
And
green
then
flag.
immediately the pervert
The
in me.
pervert in me wants to say green flag. I think beige is more.
Stop.
I think beige is more where I would lean.
Okay,
towards.
and Varsh, your flag?
Pink.
Has a high snap score.
I don't use Snapchat,
Oh,
so I don't
if
really
you
know or
use
care.
Snapchat at all past the age of 21, red.
I'd say red.
Yeah.
If they don't agree with you politically,
Beige. For me.
Pink. It's like beige red. It's like not great.
To me, like I mean, I'm friends
Because
with you
I'm-
guys, and we're all different politically. I think on some level, like I know Matty's like more on the liberal side. Patrick can be more on the conservative side, and to me, I can be friends and close with people who have different political opinions. So I'd apply that to my relationship as well.
I'm okay with that in a friend setting, but somebody that I'm choosing to like
You can't be
build a
complete
life
opposites.
with, I'm like, I don't think we can.
It
be
depends. I know
too
we're not
far off.
elaborating, but it depends. Because like if I was like if Varsh was like
A staunch
a
conservative.
staunch conservative in terms of like taxes, it's like, well, that doesn't really affect things.
Social issues. You're saying.
Whereas if it was more, sure, if it was more a thing where Varsh was like one way,
Well, so she was
and I
in
the other.
every dimension. Like she was like super opposite.
Across the board, yeah, then it
Dealbreaker
includes
or
that
red?
stuff, and it becomes a little more troubling.
I need flags here, guys.
I'll go red.
Beige.
Pink.
Again, okay. Wears a mask all the time.
What
Like
like
a
a real
surgical mask?
physical mask?
Red.
Mm.
At this point, to me, it's like red. If you're wearing it all the time, like even
I
like
think
in a
it's-
private setting.
I think it's beige.
All the
If you're
time.
outside,
No, like all the time. Like if you're just hanging out in
outside
a
beige.
house.
Inside, it's not a red flag, but it's just what are we doing?
Yeah,
I
wouldn't
think
it?
it's so
to,
much
But to
acne.
me, a red flag.
It's beige because I am with agreement in Varshaa. It's not like a bad thing.
No, but to me, but I'm not. I don't think red necessarily is like super negative. To me, it's just like what? Like it just
You
like
just
it's like
clock
it's
it
like,
as like a-
Where's your
that's
head at?
weird.
it's a question mark being like I have concerns.
you know what? This is my first of the yellow flags.
Ooh, a yellow
Where I'm
flag.
like, it's not like bad, but it definitely clocks of like.
It would
Yeah,
be-
we'll put it in as a
registers.
yellow
Sure.
flag.
It registers.
Reads their horoscope every day.
Red flag.
Yellow. Was that the that's yellow for me.
Ooh. If they just read it and it's just like a fun little like
Yeah, whatever.
like doing the crossword, like, oh, what's my horoscope? Then it's beige. But if they act
They're an
on
astrology person.
it, red.
yeah, we're going
I'm
full
so
there than
sorry.
red.
Tries to be humble but comes off as arrogant.
Well, if they're trying to be humble, well, you can't fault them for trying to be a good person.
I'm gonna say yellow,
Yellow.
Brushes their teeth in the shower.
beige.
I think, yeah, that's beige.
Has 10 or more tattoos.
Beige.
Beige.
Is
green.
vegan.
Ooh. Well, that's not okay. If you are vegan, sure, but if you're trying to push the whole like
Yeah,
anti-animal rhetoric,
that's a good point.
That
If I'm gonna
thing-
have to change how I
yeah, if
live
you're
my
gonna
life-
yell at me for eating a chicken sandwich,
Yeah.
then that's a red flag.
Deal breaker.
But if you're a vegan and you're eating your own food and you,
yeah.
then we're good.
If the person's cool, beige. If the person's an asshole about it, red.
They misuse your / they misuse the word your and their in overtext. Like they misspell it.
Yellow, red.
Wait,
Yellow,
they-
red.
They misspell. Oh, they can't.
Like when
they
they're
differentiate?
saying they can differentiate between your and your.
Huge
Beige.
pet peeve for me for when people spell things wrong and are grammatically incorrect and
I'm gonna say beige because I'm not gonna hold it against someone like I don't think it's gonna rank highly in my.
unless you're dyslexic, you have no excuse.
Maddie flag
like a beige, maybe a yellow.
only has old, worn out, raggedy underwear.
Red.
red
hygiene,
for sure.
red if you're stinky.
Have
Yeah.
fresh underwear.
Has a fitness Instagram. Oh, you didn't say your flag on that.
I agree. Red.
Oh, has a fitness Instagram.
Why aren't you
Beige.
saying anything?
Oh, I don't. We're trying to rapid fire. I don't know.
Okay.
Beige fitness Instagram. Who cares? Do
Beige.
your
I
thing.
think beige because I think it could go either way. It could be like very clearly like for one thing or just like
Yeah.
a genuine fitness account.
Yeah,
Almost
if it's like promoting harmful things or weird things,
Or just like
red.
overtly, specifically just sexual, just to promote
Just how to
OnlyFans.
work out your tits.
Last few, they hate.
Who is promoting? Okay,
They hate texting and refuse to do it.
red.
Beige.
I think it's like a.
I kind of
form
like the
of
idea.
communication.
But I like the idea of like not really texting and just doing calling all the time. I kind of like that personally. But I'll put it beige.
I guess
You would never.
But for me, someone who likes texting, that would be more of a red because I'd be like, yeah, but there's times like I'd want to be able to like, text you just really quick something sometime like, hey, we're on for a thing, right? And just get a yes text back and that be the end of it and not need it to be like a whole fucking song and dance every time.
They hate dogs.
Red flag.
Hate dogs.
Especially because I'd like a dog.
But hey, they hate them. Are they afraid of them? Because to me, it's like that's just something you
They
can
hate
control
them.
sometimes.
No, they just like hate them. They would like kick a dog.
Yeah, red flag.
They
Last
punch
one?
dogs in the
You
street.
took me there.
Last one. They order chicken fingers every time they go to eat.
Beige.
I ordered chicken fingers.
Beige.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of too. It's like you like
Beige.
chicken fingies.
I just like
And I like chicken fingies too.
breaded chicken. It's
delicious.
good.
And bread without bread, a dip in it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Ooh, doggy.
Ladies and
Was that all
gentlemen,
40?
That was all 40.
Damn.
there is your episode of Wildly Adequate. This was 56. Please, as was mentioned,
Are we gonna? Is that gonna happen or no?
like, share, subscribe. Malcolm's not here this week, so we'll just do a quick little wink
Get
and a
into
nod.
it, yeah.
What did you
Pop
say?
out with the truck. Huh.
Reference? Cool.
Quick little reference for you hardcore listeners out there, and for who the message is directed at.
Miss Cat.
Miss Cat.
Miss Cat, you better come
The
on.
time has come. Ladies and gentlemen, is there anything we want to get off our chests real quick before we go?
I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm tired. I'm hungry.
Patrick, how's your finger doing?
Yeah, how's your...
Let's take a look.
Okay, Patrick's done now. Thank you so much.
My brain broke.
Anything, Varsh?
Thank you again for having me on
Oh,
the
you're very
podcast.
welcome. Thank you for coming again. Like we said in
You're
the beginning,
so welcome.
you're our still reigning champ.
How do you feel about
The curtains?
no, not
Badly.
not the curtain. Not the
I told her
You looked up. I just was filling in the
to
blanks.
prove Varsh wrong because I said that should we probably get rid of the green curtains? Yes, but I like the idea of having them there to be able to green screen things in.
It's not green screen
Matt?
green.
Green screen something in right now behind Varsh
It's
and I.
not chroma green.
Green screen and
You guys are on a speedboat right
green.
now. There's water behind you. There's water behind you. Yeah. Yep. So, Varsh, how do you feel about the? I was gonna say the conversations we had today.
How about we do this off camera?
All right, we'll do it off camera.
Bye.
What did you think of this episode? Goodbye.